All right. I think our quick intro didn't go for some reason, but hey guys, we are live today, of course. GM.
GM,
Normally we have a
GM,
quick
GM.
intro, but something glitched there, yo. My bad.
All good,
Technical
all good.
difficulties a little bit.
Um,
We're just
I,
we wanted to do Drake too, but we also didn't want to get a content strike either. So, our bad on that.
no, all good, all good, all good. GM, Archeon, Hawks, what up? Yo,
Yo.
hope you guys are doing well, man. Did you guys listen to the Drake album yet? Let me know. Dust on Drake on
Yo,
the Iceman
did you
album
see
is like,
the KD skit over the shoes, the new shoes
no,
by chance?
no,
Oh,
no.
dude, it's so funny with Drake. Talks like such a Toronto dude. But just yeah, it was good. Um,
I am. Let's go, boys.
all right,
All right,
let's get
so
into it.
guys, here's how the show is going to go today. So we have our first interview coming up in 30 minutes. At 12:30, we'll have Lect come back on the show. He's been on the show a few times before. He's been interviewed by the guys from All In Podcast. I forget the guy's name, but he
Jason.
was like the crypto zec in the White House. Yeah, Jason. So we'll have him on at 12:30. And then at 1:15, we'll have Soul Router on. And I think that is actually a really, really, really interesting project worth paying attention to right now. And we'll cover a little bit of that stuff here, as we get closer to that interview. So, yeah, so those are the two interviews we have. We'll start off the show today by kind of going through some majors, some high level thoughts on the market, some breaking news. And then we'll, at the end of the show, after all of the interviews, we'll kind of go into some on-chain alpha, um, some things happening on chain that we want to be aware of. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get started here. And the best place to start would be this chart right here. I mean, this is just the talk of the town, right? This is the best thing that we could get into off the rip, the hype chart. Goodness, look at that thing.
Woo!
Yo,
What?
Shout out Josh for converting all of his hype to soul all the way down here at 25
No, no,
bucks.
no, 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 no. ETH to
I
hype.
mean, I'm sorry, all his ETH the hype down there at 25 bucks. My bad. um, I mean, dude, look, that's a clean couple of X's, probably 2.5x or something like that. So far here on hype. Hype hitting new all-time highs, looking absolutely massive. It looks like it's in a great spot, and it honestly looks good for higher. I mean, somebody called this vertical accumulation that was happening all here, which it absolutely was. It absolutely was. So, looking phenomenal, guys. Looking phenomenal. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing good.
I also
Um,
said, and Crypto Jones will remember this, that he asked for forecasts said by 60 days. So that would be the end of May, all-time highs. We've hit new all-time highs. So happy with that call. I still think this goes six-figure or three figs. This goes definitely over 100. There's still upside here. In my
100%.
opinion. I'm biased, but I'm not selling this.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, look, hype has had their 0 to 1 moment. Now it's just a matter of global adoption that's directly connected to the token. And with the token price going higher and them have buying back so much of their own token, like, they can do so much, right? They can do so much as far as incentives and things are
Look,
concerned.
here's the thing you need to know about hype. We seen that hype is best valued or gets attention off things that aren't tradable anywhere else. Where did we see that? Oil on the weekend. That was the first use case, right? Recently, the S&P on chain. That's the next one with partnership with XYZ. We are entering right now the hottest IPO season in all of stock market history. SpaceX, Anthropic, you name it, and Drill. Like all these companies are coming public. And where is everyone trading these futures pre-IPO? And the only place they're trading it is on Hyperliquid with any sort of liquidity. And this is like solving for a problem that you can't get anywhere else. And it's proven. I mean, there are firms, legacy TradFi firms, that are seeing trading opportunities between hype and when these things go live, or hype when the CME futures open on Monday. Like, there is real trade opportunities here. And this is the biggest infrastructure. The SEC on Monday said, hey, tokenized DeFi on-chain tokenized securities will be allowed. And I just don't think you need to know anything more. Don't give me your next Solana, perp DEX competitor. Don't give me the whatever perp exchange competitor. I don't care. It's the biggest piece of this pie that they're going after is TradFi. And at the end of the day, Coinbase made a major announcement. It was last week or the week before, saying that they're going to directly issue USDC on Hyperliquid. And this is the key. How do you get assets on the platform? Today, there's friction. You got to bridge to Arbitrum, then bridge into Hyperliquid. There's a couple steps. Even for us crypto natives, it's tough. Imagine you're a firm moving, $3, $4, $5 million of collateral into the platform. It's near impossible. So, guys, I really like this trade. I'm going to continue to say it. We're hitting all-time high in open interest, all-time high in volumes. This is going, in my opinion, I think this goes to $100. And so I'm not selling my hype. I think there's still more upside here.
The boy Archeon says hype is close to the top. If it is close to the top, I would only say a local top.
Yeah, bro, that's a local top for sure.
Yeah, definitely a local top. So here's my thing. Like Josh was mentioning, all the metrics are going up and to the right. As far as user adoption, up and to the right, easy to onboard assets, up and to the right. Like, everything is literally going up and to the right on Hyperliquid. Now, here's the part that I get concerned, and this is probably more so PTSD from the bear market and how things have played out up until this point. Is you have everyone on the timeline talking about Hyperliquid. So at a certain point, where is the buyer? Like, if
I found the buyer, bro. I found the buyer. Look,
it's
this is literally why I understand the sentiment. Grayscale is buying hype like crazy, buying 115,000 hype, $6 million in the past hour alone. Over the past week, Grayscale has accumulated $35 million. You have the Bitwise ETF. You have there's like one ETF for Hyperliquid, right? So it has been impossible to buy. On the timeline on crypto Twitter, you would think hype has hit a top. People are pretty euphoric. But in the grand scheme of finance, of the DATs, the real liquidity in the market, the ETFs, like, none of that has come into hype yet. It's never had the opportunity to buy it. It's been difficult to buy hype. Remember, you got to bridge to an exchange, bridge to hype. It's on none. Binance doesn't have hype. None of these exchanges have hype, right? So we're at the beginning of who's going to be the next, at the buyer at the edge. And I think it is going to be the traditional markets.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Chill. I saw the tweet come out. Look on chain, like, literally it's dropped like 1 minute ago. So,
dude, I'm all for stress testing the thesis, right? Like, you see some of these things, you see some of these takes online, and you have to stress that. You have to kind of stress test that with your thesis. Like, all right, hype is close to a local top. How well does that hold up? Obviously, we're seeing the evidence, and that thesis isn't really holding up that well. At the same time, here's what I'm going to be watching: the 3-day closes here in 7, almost 8 hours. So if this was pretty big range right here, from between $60 and around $20, call it. So between $20 and $60, we've been in, like, this has been like a pretty massive range here. that we formed. So if this ends up just kind of sweeping the top, and pulling back, cool. Like, that could indicate a bit of a local top, and we can retest this like $50 area here, this $50 region. Um, but yeah, I think like long term, we're probably only going to get like some of these small pullbacks, because I don't think anyone's really selling, hype at 60 bucks. Maybe traders are, and they could kind of send the price back down. Maybe someone's trading hyperliquid on the short term, and maybe they're getting priced to come back down here before like going back up again. Like that's the biggest pullback I see for hype right now, not gonna lie.
That's a good
Pretty
trade plan. I like that trade plan.
Yeah, that's as much as I see happening for hyperliquid right now. Let's see. Let's talk about Bitcoin here. So we got hype out of the way. Let's talk about Bitcoin real quick and take a look. I've been talking to you guys a lot about this over the last couple of weeks. This 2-week FVG that we've pressed up against. Honestly, a great place to short at above 80K basically. But within this FVG, great place to short. And it looks like right now we might take a trip back down to either 72K or 71K, I should say. But I think for me, I am auditing the plan a little bit. I still think sub 60K. I'm just not sure if it'll hit that next. Um, but I think for now, what I'm looking for is a little bit of a pullback to, like, call it 70 to 72K. Yeah, 70 to 72K. Um, but as you can see, respecting this resistance up above. Now, good thing to note, Bitcoin price action isn't always correlating to what's happening on chain. Um, um, so keep that in mind. Right now, Bitcoin is like, rejecting off this 2-week FEG, but base season is going crazy. Altcoins are going crazy. So I say all of that to say this pullback is a lot different than the pullback that we had at 125K. This pullback is a lot better than the pullback that we had at sub 100K right there in January earlier this year. This was a lot different than the pullback that happened in March this year, because when those pullbacks happened, prices across the board took a hit. But now we're pulling back, and also, Hyperliquid just hit new all-time highs. We're seeing, stuff like Fartcoin and Jupiter and Ton. Everything is holding their structure, right? Everything is holding their gains. VVV is up, 10, 12% on the day. So there's a lot that's still happening despite Bitcoin rejecting off of this resistance. So I say all that to say, when Bitcoin finds its low, whether that's 70 to 72K, some people are looking for 75K, that area to hold. Whatever we hold, when we form a higher low, because this essentially is a higher low. I mean, that's a low. So if we form a higher low here, or wherever we want to form it, that's going to send a lot of these altcoins, because it's going to instill confidence in the market. And so that's why I'm starting to kind of lose confidence in the sub 60K short term. I think at some point we might revisit it, maybe in the summer, before we ultimately bottom or something like that. But I think for now, we're looking to instill confidence into the market. And I'd be comfortable looking for a higher low on Bitcoin here, with how everything is playing out. So that's kind of the breakdown there on Bitcoin. Looking very good, looking for a higher low to form, and ultimately looking for altcoins to continue to outperform altcoins like a Hyperliquid, like a Zcash, etc. So that's Bitcoin. Let's see, what else do we have? ETH. Oh man, dude. Start on the 2-week with ETH.
We
Man,
have to disclose that Bankless has sold their ETH, or at least Hoffman has.
I mean, I guess Hoffman kind of speaks for all of all of ETH, but I mean, dang, that's a pretty tough guy to lose. I mean, they've been pretty adamant, about their I mean, their whole brand is built on ETH, right? Like they've been really adamant bulls on ETH, going back a very, very, very long time. Holy shoot. So here's the tweet here. Here's the tweet. Let me zoom in on this so you guys can actually see it. Boom. There you go. So he says, David Hoffman says, has there been a huge vibe shift in CT over the last 2 weeks, or was that just me selling the last of my ETH? And that obviously became a whole sort of news cycle. But that comes, amid ETH really not doing much. Now, look, guys, you've heard me. I'm still a very big bull on ETH. We just got to wait for the narrative. The narrative is there. Privacy, on-chain agentic payments. The narrative is there for ETH, but it still needs time. And I told you guys, just like Bitcoin, it has this massive FVG that it needs to break above. Um, and then obviously you have this range that ETH is also kind of still holding within. So we'll see how this plays out. Going to continue to monitor this, but I need to see ETH really break through this 2 week FEG before I really get super super bullish on ETH trending upward again. Last thing, Solana. Solana continues to look really, really good. On the weekly, though, there was this SFP that formed on the weekly down here, which was a little bit concerning. This SFP right here, as you can see, that formed, and so it caused Solana to pull back a little bit. But as we go down into the daily time frames, the 2 day really makes it clear to me. And I posted this yesterday on Twitter, where I said we have this like kind of clean breakout and retest of Solana. And I honestly wanted it to come back down to this green line here to form an SFP. That would be really nice. But I mean, clear breakout retest. It just looks really clean, man. I don't know what else to say to you. It just looks really, really clean from a price action standpoint. Um, and of the top three, I am the most bullish on Solana at this point. I am the most bullish on Solana. Farcoin also some pretty interesting price action as well. I told you guys, when I was last on stream that I'm not expecting this 3 day OB to get broken through, right? Like I'm expecting Farcoin to sort of like, reject off that area. I thought it would try to hold this OB down here at around 22 cents. So I might even just actually I'll keep that up. But we formed this SFP here on Fartcoin. So it looks good. It looks good. We formed a 1 week low here. And we formed an SFP. So I mean, doesn't to me, it doesn't seem like we can't go back to, at the very least 22 cents to where our resistance level is. But ideally, I think we go back to the range high here at 26 cents at some point. So not a bad place to look for, a long here, which, well, honestly, you should have been in the long sub 19 cents, but even longing here, I mean, it's not the best R&R, but still worth a shot. Let's see here. We talked about hype. Zcash also looking very strong off of the bull flag that it formed here. The bull flag looks a lot better on the daily though.
Bro, you
But
were slamming this one too, right at the break
dude,
of that red
we have been calling this one out since this
SF3X.
breakout point
Yeah.
here. And after we formed, I literally charted out that SFP there down here on stream. And it's just been bang, bang. It's just been going crazy ever since. So we've been keeping an eye out for any of these altcoins that like to outperform, and it seems like we have a lot more setups that are playing out now. Now that altcoins are waking up again, but Zcash is almost like you can view it the same way that you'll view Bitcoin. I really think that perhaps June, July. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pullback in some of these alts. You have, hype all-time highs. ZEC approaching all-time highs. You have, a lot of these tokens that are out, like just going absolutely crazy. So, May is obviously has been good to us, but as we go deeper into the summer, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback for us to form a bottom in the summer. And then from there, all these charts that we saw that have gone to all-time high and gone crazy, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that stuff go off. The last thing I wanted to talk about, I know Josh had some alpha for you guys. Um, the last thing I wanted to talk about was this setup here on Ton. We talked about this, 2 weeks ago, actually. And I basically told you guys when 2 weeks ago, when Ton was all the way up here at $3, I basically said, hey, look, this looks like it's going into a pretty big area of resistance. If you look on the monthly, that's a huge area of resistance right there that we basically have respected up until now. And I told you guys that, look, as we go into some of these lower time frame price action, maybe we pull all the way back, and the ideal place for us to pull back would be this area right here, the golden pocket, confluent with the weekly OB, confluent with the 1-day FVG. That would be literally the perfect entry, and we just tapped that. And so, you're welcome for that setup there. But Ton also, to me, looks like it'll probably be another outperformer, because same thing. We've broken a pretty significant pretty significant downtrend. As you can see there, we've broken that now. And so now it's time for this to outperform. But Josh, take it away.
Yeah, okay, guys. So I have some potential alpha. I will say potential alpha because we've been hurt a little bit in the past on this one, and we were early to it, but also a little bit hurt by it. So, but I
Oh
want to
no.
I
Oh,
want to pull
okay,
it
go ahead.
back up just in case, because you never know with these things. At the end of the day, you just don't know. So remember the print TGE? It was a bit of a cluster, if I will say that, to not say the explicit word, but huge cluster. The founder like raised $2 million, like printer ecosystem is going crazy. Beliefs at 18 mil, like everything's crazy. We were really early and did really well on the printer eco on the upside, but then I think I round tripped some things, and I believe Chill did as well, unfortunately. This TGE is going to go a little different. They're focusing, it seems, on some sort of point system. And so I'm scrolling down here, and how do campaigns work? Well, it's partner led, each has its own mechanism, duration, multiplier, blah, blah, blah. Current campaign is this triple O staker rewards. And so basically, what happens is you go and buy and stake triple O, and you earn points for doing that. Now, this O goes burr is just like some meme coin. And, I kind of faded at first, but I actually kind of did kind of well. If I go to the chart here, at one point, this had gone from me fading it to, 8 mil, 9 mil, and then back. Volumes are kind of low here. And, I don't know if this ecosystem ever comes back from what it was, but if they do an airdrop, and people start throwing, some money into this thing and staking it, I think there's like 30% of this is staked. I just want you guys to be aware and back on your radar that, hey, this could have a bit of a revival, but I'm not sure. So just wanted to bring that up. I'm pulling up the printer eco here. Just a second. Okay. So Solana, here we go. So there's Fat Choi, again, pretty dead. This had a what is it, MoonPay listing, or not
Mhm.
MoonPay, some sort of listing. There's OOO. If you sort by market cap here, these are kind of the ones. Noob was a farm, which kind of was brutal, but man, Belief, look at that, 140K. Look, terrible ecosystem. What happened was terrible, but we'll see if this makes a comeback. So
If I may, this is probably a much better look at the ecosystem. Let me add that. This is a much better look at the ecosystem right now and where everything stands. As you can see, literally the only thing holding up is OOO. Um, Other than that, pretty much every other chart died, died,
terrible. Do they
died,
bundle
died,
like
died.
these charts?
I
They
don't
must have.
think I don't think they bundled all of them, but I know they definitely bundled belief. That's why that one fell off hard, and I think everything else was just tracking belief so well that it just kind of sold off as that sold off. And so far, OOO is really the only one that held up. But yeah, like unless I see like great new launches or anything, I actually have eyes on something new that I'm watching. That I'd like to I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how that one plays out, but it's something different, and I'll bring it to you guys when it's time, but yeah, I'm in the camp that I'm waiting. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting, like, I'm not gonna put stick my neck out and try to, be a hero about it like I did. I did really well on that ecosystem, really well, but, on the back end also got caught up because I'm too bullish. Like I'm too much of a bull, man. Like I want to hold things from 1 mil to 100. And that
You
mentality is
wanted to believe. You wanted to believe.
oh geez. Oh geez. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah.
Um so we have Lect coming on here in the next minute or so. He's scheduled for
Here.
12:30.
So sorry, Crypto Jones. Want to get to this really quick. What was that? The Rise.Rich. So there was this Rise.Rich interview I did on Monday.
Any
And
takeaways?
dude, it was weird. Let me see if I can pull up their platform real quick.
It was weird.
Go search Rise.Rich. It geo blocks me. Oh no, never mind. I'm finally in. It was geo blocking me. Okay, so here I'll Crypto Jones. I'll give you they have this weird thing, this weird floor-based mechanism. So I'll share this because I thought this was really, really interesting. This is not a Meteor-based one. And back to Printer, we don't have any relationship with Printer outside of like we have a group chat and we send them when we cover their stuff. But uh so here is Rise.Rich. So this launchpad has this like floor concept where the guy said, and you'll have to go back and listen to it, that you cannot like the price can never go below or cannot go below this floor. And to be honest with you, I don't really believe that to be true. And I didn't really believe that at the time. But then there's this other like weird mechanism where people can borrow. So like people are actually putting their meme coin tokens into a borrow mechanism, then withdrawing Soul. And
Whoa.
I like, dude,
What?
significant amounts of the tokens have been withdrawn. And I was like, well, don't you technically the platform have like all this bad, like negative Soul amounts? Like you have people withdrawing Soul from your product. Like that can't be good. And anyways, he had some sort of explanation for that. So yeah, really, really weird kind of mechanism, but I don't know, just thought I would.
I don't know if I'm bullish on I'm bullish on organic price discovery. I don't think I'm bullish on like, engineered price go up. I don't like that. We've never needed to engineer the price to go up in crypto. Like it's always been able to go up on its own. Look at, go back to Doge to Fartcoin and whatever else. Um yeah, I think we really have to I don't think we need to do any of that. I think we just need to kind of coordinate better. on chain, as far as like a trading community goes.
Yeah.
Like, let's not vamp each other. Let's not PvP. Let's not buy the other tokens. Let's not, I even see that, now that base season is going crazy, people or deployers are trying to, or someone is trying to send meme coins on Solana higher so that it could kind of bring all of that volume from base back into Solana. It's a really dishonest way of um of going going about the space. I don't like it. I don't like it. You don't have to just allow the prices to do whatever they do. But obviously there's a lot of people out there that would much rather have people
Like, dude,
trading on Solana.
we'll get to Lect in a second here, but this Never Zero token, it said in the interview, that like $19 million of the market cap, or like 250,000 SOL, was withdrawn out of it from people who had borrowed tokens. Like, and I was like, yeah, but dude, that means like all that SOL is leaving your
Your
LP and stuff
ecosystem.
like that, like your
Yeah.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Anyways, Crypto Jones, I think it's a pass. I think it's a pass.
Last thing, GM Pamadiji. By the way, Pamadiji, we are putting together that Discord that we were talking about. So I'm back. I'm working on
Oh
it. I'll let
yeah,
you know. I'll give you guys an update as soon as we're ready.
you're front
Uh,
running your own announcement, bro.
it's all good. It's all but I gotta give credit to Pamadiji. He was the one who really like pushed this conversation forward. Not last Friday, but the Friday before. So shout out him. Shout out him.
Yeah.
But we have Lect, here. And so let's go ahead and bring him up. I know he has some pretty insane updates to cover.
All right. Yeah, can I preamble this one? So,
Yeah.
all right, Lex, a friend of the show, of course, been on. He's been grinding from the old Believe days. And Chill, I don't know if you can throw up a Foundry chart, FDRY chart. But Lect he's gone from a video generation, AI video generation, to like commercials with AI video, to this unbrowsed product, which is basically agents go and create they scrape a website and create API routes for future agents and then get paid. And it's kind of like a Google Maps layer to the internet, is how I'd like to explain it, for agents. He's been grinding and making it happen. And this chart's at, I don't know, 300K. The Foundry token, he mentions there's like 25 different flywheels for this token in this new network system. If the product works and the network works, I think this is a potentially very interesting project. If this project was on base, I think it would also be like 10 times higher than it is today. However, nonetheless, I think Foundry is really interesting. And yeah, we like Lewis, and we're going to get some more, just a little more alpha on the launch of this network, because I think it could be something super interesting and something that we're pretty interested in. So nonetheless, Lewis, am I describing Unbrowse accurately as the Google Maps for agents on the internet? Does that sound interesting?
Yeah, that's accurate. But I think the cooler way to say it is it's the agentic web itself. So
right. I know, but the agentic web. So what I'm trying to do here is help people understand the gravity of what you've created, because the agentic web sounds like something that ChatGPT would give me and be like, oh, you sound smart saying it. But I think what you've really created, and from what I understand, and correct me where I'm wrong on this, is you have agents that go out into the internet, they scrape website, or they go to websites, they learn how to use websites, and then they create a API pathway for future agents, and then they get paid for creating that pathway. And the real value of why this would exist is because you save on token costs of your agent going to a website, learning how the website works, all this kind of stuff. And in your different different analysis, you describe that this is like a 60-70% savings on your token costs. Do you mind kind of just diving into if that's accurate, and if that's a good way of describing it?
yeah, that's pretty accurate. except that it got even more cost saving than the previous time. So it's like 85-90% now. Actually,
Awesome.
it's even less. More so because, well, you don't only call one endpoint when you're doing anything agentic, right? You call like 1,000 of them over the long run. Whereas when you use a browser, you call like you script a web page like 50 times when an API call just costs one, right? One call, right? So it's like, it's just doesn't make sense to use a browser at all. Yeah.
Right. So this is a very real problem. And you were on Jason Kalinakis's thing. You you described this problem to him. I'm sure he kind of understood this as a problem. The AI labs probably hate this because they want people to spend their tokens because that's their core business model. But maybe pull up, if you could, the article that you lay out, kind of the traction here. And maybe we'll start there because I think it's significant, and then we can get into the different flywheels that you have. Because that
also like 3 articles in the last.
All right, I'll tee it up here, and
Yeah,
maybe Chill if you want to pipe in if you have like a question or something.
Yeah, I mean, Lex, so I guess the question I had after you had that interview with Jason, I felt like that was like a big moment for you. Like it was a big moment for you for your project. Like, did that translate to anything? Or like
I got him chicken rice.
I'm sorry.
I managed to meet him in person. I was at Launchfest. I was pitching there. I met some really cool people. But
Nice.
like, it was really cool. Yeah, I met him in person. I gave him chicken rice, and then we had fun. I met some I met basically his connections at the event when I was in SF.
Very nice, very nice. And do you have, whether it is like new contacts that can help you help you build out your business, like anything like that that's kind of come out of, getting connected with a guy like Jason?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of people I met, not only in the event, but in the trip to SF itself, right? That really changed the trajectory of things, how it could be. I just need to pull the cards out now because I've just been building, right? I'm like, okay, I need to make the product actually amazing before I actually pull out my trump cards, So I haven't used them yet.
Gotcha. See, you have a few things up your sleeve and you're just waiting for the right time to pull it all out, is from what I'm getting from this. Got you. I see you have the flywheel article up here. Josh, are you ready?
I think I'm ready, and I want to break into a lot of these. So really quick, guys, there's traction here. 7,000 downloads in the last week, 26,000 downloads overall. Have these numbers changed?
Yeah, it's obviously higher because like it's been, I think, a week. I think it's gonna be way higher in about, I think, 2 days, because I am releasing Umbrel's V2 or whatever you want to call it, because this version of Umbrel's will cover like about 90% of indexable endpoints on the internet, right? Meaning that right now, what you see these sets are like, right now it's around 40K installs, right? But that's on a heavily nerfed Umbrels that I was building while I was pitching to people. So like, it wasn't the best version of Umbrels. But this version of Umbrels, right, in my internal benchmarks, right, I basically went to Reddit. I took like every single website that everyone has ever had struggles with automating, right? I made a benchmark of like 1,000 actions. And compared to the original version of Umbrels, which only covered 20% of it, this version covers 90% of it. So this would mean that a huge portion of the websites on the internet will be indexable on Umbrels.
Okay. Wow. And what does that enable? Like I want to, so in my opinion, and Dom's question, how was the reception from VC during the SF trip? Like, you have this, what seems like a big problem on the internet. Like, I would think you would come back and say, oh, I raised $5 million from a trip like that for something like this.
We had a lot of, okay, so let's say I didn't reach out for any VCs initially, right? I was just chilling. I was just at Mountain Dow, being like, "Hey, look at my cool API reverse engineering tool," and then people were like, "Wow!" And then I was like, "Yeah!" And then basically we had like, I don't know, 20 people, 20 VCs just approach me bit by bit. But then it's a bit difficult when you have a token, right? So I'm a bit stubborn. I don't want to sunset a token because these people have supported me for a long time,
Yes.
right? And there's also like, I can't really go the bedrock route without pissing off my holders as well, because my token is worth a fraction of what my technology is worth. So I'm just like, what do I do? In fact, the other day I was just talking to my holders, right? Like, hey, what if I did a migration so that I can give you guys equity, so that I could do something with this, right? So that we could raise or something, and uh, I don't have to fight for this whole conflict of interest of a token and a whole equity thing. So I was like, you know what? I think this is a good idea, right? I'm giving them equity, right? But then there was a huge uproar on my chat. They were like, "Oh, they don't understand the value of equity," which is basically how CT feels about, I think, ownership at the present moment, right? Until someone else adopts it, there's a huge risk in going the equity route, which is blocking me from a proper raise, a proper everything. And at the same time, I frankly got like, okay, you know what? Why am I doing this? I could be building this into a much better product and coming back like a month later with even more traction and have more leverage. So I held off the rounds for a bit after like I was getting so much traction for like uh, a month, right? And then it tapered off a bit because OpenCloud kind of died out, right? Everyone realized that this agent wasn't very reliable for the average user, right? So I took a pause. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pause my race. I'm gonna figure out the structure for things first. How am I gonna do the equity? How am I gonna do the token? It's really, really, really difficult to have a race, uh, and it's insanely amazing, right? That these VCs even reached out to me, even though I had a token. By the way, it's actually so hard initially to get people to care about you when you already have a token that's live on Solana. But they came anyway because they knew that Unbrowse was actually a paradigm shift, right? But so I figured, you know what? Since I have like a background in actually doing trading and like friends within the quant space, right? That really, really love the idea of being able to collect data, right? I basically used Unbrowse. I dog fed a bit. I created a data set of market data, Jupyter data, and all kinds of random data, right, to create a quant trading bot to fund myself while I figured this thing out. So that's why there's like this new update today.
Okay, so you're self-funding through a profitable, ideally, trading bot. The TLDR, what you just said, is the none of the models, whether it be Bedrock or whatever, kind of fit cleanly with what you're trying to do. And
Yes.
what you're thinking ultimately is just have a really great product, and the token will kind of sort itself out. Is that correct?
The token will sort itself out, and the rounds I raise later, if I need to, it will be so much more in my favor because I'm raising at a quite a okay. For context, I was raising 3 mil, right? I was raising 3 mil, but it was not like it didn't. It was a bit difficult, right? Because of the token and because of certain other things. We had massive support from the VCs actually, but like it wasn't very easy with the token as well. And I was working out Bedrock, and I don't want to, yeah. It's a messy kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few solutions to this, right? I'm not gonna like rug my people, so I'm just gonna come up with some weird solution. So one would be the vault. So I think if you go to the Get Foundry website right now, I'll drop it here for you.
Yeah. If you want to, yeah, I can pull it up. So shoot me. Getfounder.app. Okay. Okay.
And once we're done with this, I actually have an interesting question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And where am I going to? Where am I seeing the vault here?
The vault page, yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at what's it called, the poly market thing at the bottom. Yeah, so over here we have this thing called Stake Foundry, right? And then we have like you scroll down a bit, there's this little
Okay.
trading
Interesting.
thing. Yeah. So you
Okay.
see at the bottom, there's gonna be like this thing, scroll down. It says poly market. Yeah, open poly market.
Okay.
Scroll
Okay.
down. This is not effective. Yeah, this is just me live trading on a small amount, right? Before I go live with the actual thing. You see the button
Yeah.
on top that says open poly market?
Open poly market. Yep.
Okay. So now if you look at the wins of every single position that I've closed.
Okay. So go activity. So that would
I
be
think
this.
yeah.
Right.
So you go to activity, you go to positions, sorry.
So sorry, positions. Yep.
Then you click closed.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. There we go.
Then you look at profit or loss, or you want to sort it by date so that you can see the spread between wins and losses.
Date. Okay.
Yeah, there's no losses basically.
Oh, nice. I gotta log in. Yeah. How many of these in a row do you have?
40.
40 and 0. You have a 40 and 0 win rate.
And how'd you do that?
Like, you know, screw this VC nonsense, screw this token thing. I'm just gonna brute force my way through with my unbrowsed data.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so how are you using unbrowsed to do this? Is there any is you train the agent to scrape poly market? Like what's the edge that you have?
Certain data sets I took, right? But surprisingly not that much unbrowsed. It's a very, very weird strategy that I don't know why no one, actually it's obvious why no one does it, because it doesn't make sense in a traditional sense. And I obviously won't explain how it works, if not that's my edge is gone, right? But basically I unbrowse Polymarket, I unbrowse the backtest data of Polymarket throughout history as well. And then I used it to train a model that predicts who wins intra-match. So I can watch the match, I can figure out I mean, I don't watch the match. I haven't watched any of these matches, by the way. Like the bot just buys it, and then I just win. So it's nice.
Okay, very good. So back to the vault here. Is this a way that people can drop their Foundry tokens in here or something like that? What's the play here?
So it's similar to, have you heard of Volta? Or you guys know of Ranger, right? Ranger acquired Volta a while back, and then they acquired them like a few days ago.
Okay.
So Volta is this they're basically this vault marketplace where you can basically invest in funds that trade tokens and whatever equity stuff, right? So Stake Foundry is essentially a vault on Volta that basically just makes it such that you can put your tokens in, right? You can buy a sort of like a share of the vault, right? And then they can trade it up for you programmatically on chain or something like that, right? So that's what I did. But instead of doing Polymarket, inside here is connected to Jupiter's prediction market, and it's going to go live today, where basically whoever stakes Foundry gets into the vault. Those stake Foundry will be used as liquidity that we use to trade up the tokens. And I don't take much of a fee at all, given the insane win rate that we have. Yeah, because this is just to drive volumes up, and the 2% per buy for Foundry and sell per trade, right, would easily fund the entire umbrellas.
Okay, and talk to me about the Stake Foundry. Is this so you stake it and then you get a share of the Polymarket earnings? Is that correct?
Yes, for now it's Polymarket earnings, but in the future it will be things like unbrowse transaction fees, right? So Stake Foundry will always be like a beta above Foundry in terms of price.
Okay. Sorry, Chill. Go ahead if you have something here.
Yeah. So I have a kind of out of the left field question. if you had to do this all over again, as far as building this product, um, launching a token, now kind of like trying to find like how to, bridge value with the token, connecting that with the product, making sure the community is aligned. Like out of everything that's happened over the last basically year since launching on
Mhm.
Believe, with all that, what would you do different? Would you still go at everything the same way?
I'm a man that lives with no regrets. I think everything I do, I can't really
Love it.
control if I go back. I think I did everything pretty well, given the fact that Foundry was never meant to happen. I was just on Believe and I was like, hey, what's this? And I just submitted my kind of project. That's exactly what happened, right? And I just used the fact that I had attention to build my dream and make it happen, right? So I had no, like, for context, right? Like 3 years ago when I started Umbrells, right? No one gave a shit about agents. No one knew what Umbrells was. No one knew the point of what I was doing was, right? And everyone else called me like an insane person, like saying that I was like, they were all calling me like, why are you wasting your time doing this weird API thing? What's going on here? Like, I don't get you. And I'm like, they tell me things like, you could be making money building software, you could be making money like freaking working a job, right? And I'm just like, no, I believe in this, right? And it's only my wills and some foundry holders that truly actually held the line and gave me the opportunity to make this all happen, right? So back then, no one gave a shit, especially before OpenCloud, right? No one understood the value of Umbrells. So yeah, I owe it to them, and that's why I don't want to route the token.
I respect it, guys. I definitely respect it. So here's what MCG is gonna do is I think we're gonna try and help you out, Lewis, as best we can. I don't know if we can or not, but we're gonna try and just come up with an idea and a solution here, because if Unbrowse is successful, I think there's a lot of really exciting upside here for holders, for yourself, and then ideally there's room to scale, which is, at some point raising capital. But I think you're right. I think you got to come in with a really good product and prove out the model, and then you can kind of, figure out the right token equity structure. But I want to get back to these flywheels because
Okay.
let's go here. So what a few other things, and I read this whole article and I was really, really, really surprised. So 1,000 agents, has this changed since this and 180 million tokens saved?
It's higher, but it hasn't been tracked properly now because I did a migration of the database. It's lost. It's a number lost somewhere now because I had to upgrade the infrastructure for a new update. So right now, if you go to the Umbrell's website, the index is empty, but it's okay because it's gonna be much more populated in a week or so.
Okay, so
yeah,
here's the flywheels. So I want to talk about the Foundry token and this flywheel that you've foresee, and this is coming out with V2, correct?
correct.
Okay, so you have this ACO, which is an agent that you are creating, and what I'm assuming here is ACO is like kind of gonna go do the searching on the internet and like creating these API routes for people that are using it. Is that correct?
Sort of, but not exactly. ICO is basically an open core for normie people, like people who don't know how to like set up a CLI, people who don't know how to don't know what an MCP is, people who don't know what a skill is, right? Like I'm helping people set up OpenClaw and it's like it's like this is not that thing. Like OpenClaw is not meant for the regular guy. So I realized that Umbrell's actual strongest use case, right, is the fact that you don't need to set up any of this. Umbrells doesn't require MCP for every website. It doesn't require a CLI or skill. It just works out of the box. And I think I understood that the last time around because I didn't realize that from the user's perspective of a regular Joe, they didn't have the ability to know the knowledge I had about these technologies, right? So literally all you do is just plug in Unbrowse and then it just works for everything. So ICO is this agent architecture, agent based on the architecture I built from the ground up. Not only is it using Unbrowse as a native browser, but it has this cellular architecture I built that makes it actually remember things and perform things proactively for you. So it's like call me insane, right? But it's a better OpenClaw. It's actually
Okay.
very good
So,
experience to use. It's not
all right.
released yet.
Dom and I actually set up an OpenClaw instance on stream once, and it was a terrible experience. So understand that. So the agent then creates tasks for the users. More tasks creates routes through Unbrowse, which is kind of like you dog fooding your own network a little bit to begin. Is that
Right.
fair? Okay, so
Yeah.
more routes create denser coverage, which makes ACO better, which smarter ACO means more X402 volume. Can you explain this? What do you mean by more
Okay.
X402 volume?
So let's say now everyone's using ICO, right? Now ICO is just like doing everything for people because it's a crackless agent that actually does stuff well, right? Because Unbrowse is relying on X402, whenever ICO does anything, it just pays a fee, right, to Unbrowse itself, the network, to indexes, to websites, right? X402 then represents like a protocol that lets people get paid. And with higher 402 volume, we take a cut, right, of every single request. And those requests at higher volume would go into buying Foundry because we know that the State Foundry vault will actually make us money, right? So we have every reason to buy back into this vault because we know it works, right? It's got a look at the picture on the Telegram chat I sent. Look at that chart. That's our live test. So it's like, why not just YOLO the fees back into the vault, because we know it's going to be appreciating.
Right. So what
Then
you're doing is accumulating more of your own token so that you can
yeah,
fund your own project.
yes, because the fees also pay off a lot as well. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if okay, can I screen share this chart?
Yeah. So the thing about Polymarket and the reason why I started off with Polymarket, right, is because
So you're
the
okay
win
if I
rate.
screen share this chart that you sent me?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Okay, here I'm gonna try and do this, guys, and then you can explain what we're looking at here.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right,
sure if that's a
guys.
correct image because I was rushing.
Boom.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So it's a very weird portfolio. So it does both Polymarket and Jupyter. Right now, Polymarket is going to be enabled today. Jupyter will be done later once I figure out how to uh, wire it up together into the vault. But as you can see, yeah, these are insane numbers, right? Uh, I feel like I'm a grifter, like showing this off, because like no one shows these kinds of charts. Like this is absolutely like absurd, right? But that's just how it is with Polymarket. Like if you can win above like 80-90% every time, right? Your chart's just gonna look like that, right? And uh yeah, so that's what my chart looks like.
And this is
Live.
live. This is not backtest data. This is live data.
This is live on my tiny account. I had to use a tiny account because I didn't want to get noticed. It was too good, you know. I was like, wait, well, people start trading and copying me, but it's okay because now you have a way to do it, and that's using the vault. You just buy Foundry basically.
Okay, so you buy Foundry, you stake it. Now, how much of the earnings from whatever you're doing here actually goes back into the vault? Is it 50% of the profits, or are you sending it all into the vault because you also have a bunch of Foundry staked in there?
For now, it's gonna be. I don't know. I think I set a 10% fee for it, but I was planning to drop it to 0 for now for launch, right? Because I want people to get attention to it. And
so 10% fee, which means 90% goes into the vault.
Oh no. Oh, that's what you meant by going into the vault. Okay, so right now, the vault works this way. People who opt in to buying State Foundry are the ones providing liquidity to the vault. So it's not dependent on like a fixed amount. Like Foundry is just Foundry, State Foundry is a different token, right? People who convert their Foundry into State Foundry contribute to the vault, and they get basically the higher premium they make from actually participating in the trading, basically.
Okay, got it. I don't think
Foundry,
I got it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I got a clear answer on like so if you earn, let's say the bot earns $100, and how much of that $100 would get into the vault is what I'm
It just
asking.
goes back onto Foundry. I take 10% cut of profits only.
Yeah, so 90% of it would go back into the vault.
Correct.
when the bot is profitable. Okay. Sorry, we're getting there. We only have a few minutes left here, but I want to just kind of close this out a little bit here, back on this article. So, okay. So this is your flywheel. All right, more fees buying Foundry, Vault compounds, more building equals more ACO users. I got it. Okay. So we've confirmed that Unbrowse clearly works. I mean, you have traction here. Is there anything else that we're missing here?
Yeah, I think all the things that I have a lot of things in the last month, honestly, because I was just building non-stop. I don't think we covered this one episode because basically the ICO harness is able to one-shot a lot of tasks. It's really good, but I think that deserves like a separate time because I want to show a demo for it, but there's no time for that. It's a bit long. Yeah. And I need to get like 90% coverage of the benchmark, which is very big. Because the biggest pain people had previously with Unbrowse, right, on the older versions, was that they didn't know what to expect when Unbrowse couldn't do a website, right? But I did this special technique where I go deep into reverse engineering, not just the network request, but basically recomputing everything down to the Cloudflare token, right? Where I'll be able to spoof a browser directly just from a network request. So it's much better now. And I think Foundry won't stay at this price in like a week or so. I don't think so. If not, the market's absolutely insane because I literally have money coming in. If people are just selling it, whatever, right? Yeah.
Sorry, say that last bit again.
I literally don't think Foundry is gonna stay at the current price it is in like a week. I had people fighting me because of like some nonsense of the. It's kind of, I'm just so. It's just funny, yeah. But whatever. It's like, yeah.
Look, Lewis, we've known you for a while now, and so I think, look, the FUD's going to happen. Obviously, there's no volume on the token, and it's like people are impatient. People see base season ripping and stuff like that. What I gather from this chat is there's not an easy solution here, and what you're trying to do is maximize the token. Basically, you don't want to screw over your holders. You want to maximize the value going back to them. But you don't know specifically, like is that Bedrock? Is that nothing and just leave the token as is and do it this kind of the staked way? Is that an ACE model or with a safe note agreement? Which is, again, this is just paperwork, guys. Like, it doesn't actually change the market structure of a token overnight. It just creates a narrative which traders latch onto and trade it. Okay. Chill, I don't know if you have any last thoughts. Sorry.
Go ahead, Lewis. Funding is not that big of an issue because I have a lot of like big hitters, especially like within the academia space, right? They are funding my, I don't know why I call this round because I'm too big to be having an angel round, but it's like just giving me like little checks here and there. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
So you're getting some funding then eh?
Yeah, it's just that I don't have to go through the VC route,
Yeah.
Like I can just take that money and then like grow it. I can honestly, I think it'll be more aura and badass if I just bootstrap the entire agentic internet, right? I think that'll be cool. Maybe I should just do that.
That's a clip. Okay. I think we're gonna leave it there, Lewis. That was really good. There's something here, and I just haven't been able to put my finger on it totally. And I think honestly, what's really great about you is you just work and you just create things and you're a builder. And I think there was a comment here that you're like the Steve Wozniak of whatever. Who said it here? Lek gives me Steve Wozniak vibes, genius behind the scenes type. Look, I think with some marketing, storytelling, I laid it out. Google Maps for agents. Like I think we can get there. And I'm willing to help with that, and MCG is willing to help with that. So, anyways, we'll see what we can do.
But I forgot one more thing. One more important thing: the utility for Unbrowse itself. there was another flywheel that I didn't mention in the article, but I can release now. But I don't think you guys have time for it, right?
Go say whatever you can say it.
Okay. Basically, remember what we discussed about staking Foundry to secure the routes of Umbrals?
Yeah.
I decided since I don't have to worry about like VCs trying to like worry about some token and then slow me down, I can actually secure the routes using Foundry. So the coverage of Umbrals itself, whatever tokens or whatever access to Umbrals itself will basically become tied to the price of Foundry. So there's the vault and there's also the index security element. So now if you index stuff on Umbrals, you get tied to a wallet. The one owns Foundry if you want to stake it. And if you index malicious things, you get your Foundry slashed. So it's like a staking proof of stake mechanism, right? And to counter this like whole security thing, this is implemented. But that means people need to buy Foundry to be verified on the Umbrals route.
Got it.
So the more people use Umbrals, the more access to Umbrals, the more need for Umbrals, the better the quality the routes get, the price of Foundry increase.
Yes. Okay.
Continue to stake. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I have those notes. We'll cap her there, Lewis. This was a quick check-in, but I wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything before this goes live in 2 days. So.
I'm gonna dog feed Unreal and push out the agent on TikTok, so you're gonna expect a lot of distribution from that.
I love it. I love it. Okay, keep us in the loop. Keep sending us. We'll make sure the community gets it. Yes, you have a co-founder, right?
I just got a co-founder recently, like I think a month or two ago. He joined me for my SF trip and he supported me. Yeah.
A developer?
No, he's like the counterbalance to my insanity, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, we'll leave it there, Lewis. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Lect. Till next time.
Yeah. Nice seeing you.
Cool. So nice updates there from Lewis on the product.
Just trying to front run because the idea is big.
Yeah, I think it's just about kind of shaping the narrative a little bit, and providing like a kind of clear idea that you can kind of pitch to the community. Yeah, I like the direction he's going in, though.
This is the challenge. Is Lewis is very transparent with everything he's building, so it seems like he's building a lot of things that are like disjointed. So this like poly market bot, which clearly is profitable, is to fund the development of this unbrowsed thing. He's basically trying to fund it. People are building bots, of course, but not all of them are profitable. I hope Lewis makes it. And so that's why we wanted to just cover it in, because if in 2 days, Unbrowse is successful, which they have 20,000 downloads of their thing. I mean, there is definitely something there. He's had some articles get like 1 million views. One of his articles got 1 million views. So, yeah, look, I think there's some tie-ins here. Like, look, we're going to try and make some relationships happen here. Trying to do a little advisory and see if there's something we can do to help Lewis out. We'll see, guys. No guarantees. Percolator. Yeah, I also saw Clued is like, yeah, this is, I get it.
Darth, that's literally been the thing.
This is the thing.
We've said that almost every stream.
I love Lewis. I think Lewis has got something. He's super smart. But he's the Steve Wozniak. We need the Steve Jobs.
He's gotta rein it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to kind of tee up our next interview. So we have Soul Router coming up. Are you ready to kind of start the tee up for that interview?
Yeah, run that tee up.
Things.
Okay. We could also do a couple, because we got 4 minutes. There's a couple charts ripping. If we want to just pull one of them up, I'll just shout out Clued from yesterday, guys, and then we can get into the lean in here. If you just give me a second, I saw this was ripping, guys. Clued from yesterday hit 4 mil. This was 100x.
Pull the chart up.
Sorry, 100% from stream yesterday.
Let me share my screen real quick. Bam.
This is why being on MCG, being active is definitely helpful.
All right, so here is Clued. Let's see here. All right, so here is the Clued chart. Actually looking very good. Ended up having them on stream yesterday, and here it is. Bam. That thing is just going crazy. Let me actually delete some of my charting here so you guys can actually see it a little better. But man, Clued has been on an absolute tear, ever since our interview yesterday. So looking good. Call that the MCG effect, if you will.
Call it the Josh and Dom. I'm not gonna lie. We were on stream yesterday and just forcing the alpha out, just really getting into the alpha. It was almost like, holding them up by the feet, trying to shake the alpha out. That was definitely what we were trying to do. And Sebs is a legend. Love Sebs. And it was pretty funny. There was a funny moment there, but yeah.
So that's Clued. Let's kind of start the transition. We have the next interview coming up with Soul Router here in the next couple of minutes. I saw an interesting tweet here by the homie Res Degen. He's actually pretty good writer, actually. But he says we need a capital market. We need a capital market for inference. Speculate on future prices based on compute demand, future markets and derivatives, arbitrage across different providers, jurisdictions. Buy at a discount, sell after you bought a commitment for lower price, and recover liquidity. Whoever builds a solid product can bring volume, will print. So he kind of wrote that, and there was actually someone that wrote this article, and I forgot his name. Akai here, he didn't write this article. There was another builder. He's just a very well-known AI decentralized AI infrastructure builder. He actually wrote this article. He talked about how he's in touch with several different teams that are building, in this sort of space. And so Akai basically just took a screenshot of that article, and he writes that based on what Res Degen just kind of talked about, there are some of these inference markets kind of being built up. But with one of the homies, Chijaka, we've covered his stuff here a few times on the show, but he says Soul Router is the best privacy inference project on the market right now. Yes, better than Venice. In short, Soul Router has stronger cryptographic privacy than Venice through proof, not trust. With Soul Router, he says that your prompt is encrypted. There's a connection with Archeum, which we want to explore during the interview as well. He says with Soul Router, it stays encrypted during the blind routing and is only decrypted inside a hardware isolated TEE for inference. Even Soul operators and the model providers can't see plain text. Every session produces an on-chain attestation on Solana you can verify. And so he kind of makes this sort of comparison between Venice and Soul Router, which is a pretty big, obviously we've been talking about VVV these last few weeks and the vertical accumulation, how that's been going crazy, but we see a little bit of confluence here, even with Cryptic. Even Cryptic says that Router is one of the most interesting asymmetric plays. And this is kind of why we've got Router on our radar, and we kind of wanted to take a look at some of the deeper fundamentals. What is this project about? What are they building towards? What's the future like? What kind of traction and metrics are they generating so far? But obviously, there's a lot of interest from the timeline. There's a lot of interest from traders that we're connected with, that we're that we respect. Shout out to Cryptic. He's a great follow. But this is going to be a pretty exciting interview. So we have Ghost Hash here. How are you, brother? Welcome to the show. Welcome to MCG.
I'm doing good. I'm spending the day at a co-working out in Caparica in Lisbon. It's a little bit loud right now outside, so I'm in one of these phone capsules.
You're good.
Unfortunately, yeah, of course. Not a very interesting background for you guys to see, but I mean, it's all about the conversation. Excited to be on the podcast.
Absolutely excited to
You
have
weren't
you
gonna
on.
show us like the beach or something in the background, and maybe like a party.
Really?
Oh, yo, nice.
That's actually dope.
That actually is on the ocean, right? Like, was that the sand dunes
Yeah.
there? Oh,
Yeah.
That's actually dope. That's actually dope, dude. No, it's great having you on the show here today. Can't wait to dig into your project. I mean, we're a show filled with researchers. We like metrics. We like analysis. We like forming deep theses on things. So we can't wait to dig into the interview. But before we get to Router and what you're building, a lot of times we just like to start with you, the person, your background, where you've started, and what led you to building Soul Router.
Yeah. So I'm an economics student. Back in the day, found my way into crypto through investing, and then worked at a law firm as an analyst for a while, crypto analyst. And then I co-founded my first startup. We're doing prediction markets on Solana. Joined Super Team Germany, and since last Colosseum, not the one that concluded just now, previous one last year, I started building Soul Router, got connected with the Archium team at the local build station in Berlin, and implemented a tech and been working on private AI ever since.
Nice. Okay, so you have a background. You've had done a previous startup. What's talk to us about the Soul Router origin story. How'd you get started there?
So funny enough, initially I was just trying to build like a multi-routing system where you can pay per inference. But through getting connected with Archium and thereafter in Asana, I've pivoted a lot towards privacy, focusing mainly on open source models these days. Just because inference with just API is never going to be private. You can't make it private. It's going to hit that service. So you need to run the models locally. And yeah, it's been pretty crazy ride from participating in the Colosseum, winning the local demo day there, and then afterwards getting connected with the guys from OpenSurf, implementing their reasoning framework to make the open source models more efficient. And now recently also adding skill trees in conjunction to the reasoning graphs that they have, which essentially skill trees, Solana Foundation and Colosseum and Archium have published skills which function as context for agents to make them more efficient in certain domains. And yeah, over the past couple months, Soul Router has gotten smarter and smarter and smarter. And I'm really excited for what's to come. I'm talking to some major people in the industry right now, closing some partnerships. Ever since the price been appreciating quite a lot over the past week, that opened a lot of doors for me. Cooking a little about.
Nice. Glad to hear that you're cooking in the background and got a lot in the works. I mean, there's a lot to break down there with what you just said, though. But I wanted to start just with some basics, right? Just in case there's someone in the audience that maybe they don't know what inference is. Like, let's just start at the base level. What is inference and why is it important?
So inference is essentially when you talk to an AI agent, the prompt is sent through a relay to the model, and that's essentially inference. But for us, there's certain layers that come in between the inference, or essentially between the prompt actually landing at the model and going back to you. for us, like essentially in your browser, we encrypt your prompts with Archium, a rescue cipher, before they even leave your device, which means they never hit our servers unencrypted. And then they go through a trusted execution environment, which is by Fowler. I don't know if you guys know, but yeah. So essentially, that's where the magic happens. Within the T, the information is processed. It's decrypted with your public key, and then goes through inference to our locally hosted models. Never touches the server because it's like re-encrypted in a T, and then you locally decrypt it with Archium as well.
Got it. So there's a moment in this inference process where sensitive data is exposed, is what you're saying, and through Soul
It's
Router.
exposed only in the T.
Gotcha.
For a brief period. The major difference to platforms like Venice is that your information is still unencrypted in transit to the T, if that makes sense. For us, the data is encrypted in your browser and it never goes through our servers, and it's
Got it.
only decrypted within a trusted execution environment, which is the big difference.
And so the difference between, Soul Router and just normal inference through other pieces of technology is you're really you're privatizing that sensitive data. You're making sure that there's as little leak as possible.
Exactly.
I mean, what's the use case for something like this? Why is this so important? Why would someone want to be interested in privatizing that data?
So there's a lot of use cases for this, right? Basically, all major companies have completely disallowed their the people working from using AI, simply because you could publicize edge, right? You expose it to the servers of the AI. It gets used for training, and then if you're running agents, for example, right, to trade for you, to trade in prediction markets or to trade perps or whatever, then you're also essentially publicizing your edge. And Soul Router is not just a regular like chat web app. We also have an SDK and we also have an agent framework, which means that if you're running your trading agent and you want to do some research or execute trades, which we're allowing through Umbra Privacy.
Very nice.
Right. They have an SDK and we've been working with them. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can do that privately through Soul Router. We're also currently working, and I'm giving you a little bit of alpha right now. We're working on a co-pilot for Phoenix Trade, which will allow you to devise strategies through Soul Router and then also backtest them and do all of that privately.
What kind of product, what kind of products are out there like that? I mean, is this the first? We appreciate the exclusive, by the way. So, chat, if you guys are listening to this, like literally we're dropping alpha live on stream as we normally do, but we appreciate that. But what kind of products are out there like this? I mean, is there anything out there that is similar?
I mean, I guess, this Venice, right? It's pretty big. Then there's another, a little bit smaller project that I've also had contact with, Loyal. But as for the, like most of them are, private AI chats. It's not really not really a private inference layer that allows users to access it through different layers, right? So I think that's like the major difference, and our emphasis on privacy. In an optimal world, we would be using MXEs through Archium and completely cut out the Ts. That would make it even more private, even more undestructible. But unfortunately, right now, that would pretty much destroy our UX, right? Because of latency. It just takes too long. But I'm pretty confident. I'm also talking to the Archium team. I'm pretty confident that they are going to figure this out in the next couple of years. And yeah, until then, we're going to run a hybrid. But as soon as it becomes viable, we're looking to be the first platform that runs inference fully through FHE, which is fully homomorphic encryption.
Huge, huge. Okay, so maybe I ask this question: what makes you what differentiates you from everyone else? You might have answered this a little bit, but I try to encapsulate that in one answer for me.
It's a very good question. It's a very tough question to answer because I don't want to put myself above everyone else. I would say that I have very great connections in the ecosystem through Super Team. So I do have access to certain people and get certain intros that other people don't. I have a background in economics and system design, right? That's like what I initially did, was essentially to build, back in the day, was not staking mechanism, it was consensus mechanisms based on evolutionary game theory. So I've just have a long background in system design and designing systems that work from end to end. And that's what I've been doing over the past 6 years in crypto.
There's a very famous case, Chill, and I hope you don't mind me popping in here, but Samsung had an incident where they exposed technical information or proprietary information because they were using an early version of ChatGPT, which was pretty crazy. I forget what product it was that they did this, but it was hugely damaging. I mean, it's this kind of, whether it be your trading edge, whether it be data about your business that's proprietary, like can wipe billions of dollars off your market cap. So it's very, very acute. So I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if you have any comment there or can add anything to that.
For sure, we have an entire section of examples of cases just like this on the website, and I think for now, in 2026, is still most relevant to institutions and traders and people who move money on chain. But as we move towards, fully agentic, agent to agent trading, and just generally, like, the more agents adopt and use money, which is going to be on chain, right? Because agents can't have credit cards, right? They need wallets. The more we move towards that, the more relevant privacy is going to become, because there's no latency. There's no latency with agents. Like, if an agent exposes their edge, they're going to be taken advantage of, and that's kind of like the future we're building for.
Couple questions, and then I'll pass it back to Chill here. What sort of models supported in this TE? Only open source models, or is there any sort of restrictions?
So we do still have, which is somewhat of a reference, we do still have access to Claude and GPT for now. It's not fully private, and we also flag that. It's essentially just anonymous usage, where you can use them without having to, use a credit card. But as of now, in terms of open source models that are fully private, we have Qwen 3.6 and Ollama 20B. Those are the models we support. And then it's not just the base models, because they essentially work with the reasoning framework from the guys from OpenServe, and they have additional context, like on-chain data and skills from the foundations that I mentioned before.
Satria Pad, what's your name? Palmadiji. I see in the docs that you have models like, for example, GPT Anthropic. While in transit, it's encrypted. How do you ensure no training? Is there an NDR contract?
There's no insurance. That's what I mentioned, right? So we have these models, and the only claim we can make for those is that it's private, like essentially private in the sense of anonymous. Excuse me. And then for the open source models, we can guarantee full privacy. But yeah.
Got it. And my second, sorry, go ahead.
What I was going to mention is, so we're currently hosting Qwen still through Asana, but since you recently popped up a tweet where the other company was mentioned, we actually just announced a partnership with the guys from UsePod AI. They also have a token out, which I'm not going to show right now, of course. But yeah, we're going to host the Quen models through them in the future, which is also going to be quite exciting because the inference to them is a little bit cheaper.
Is that alpha for like our audience? Is that exclusively dropping?
It's not
over here?
exclusive. We just
Okay,
announced it. We
okay.
just announced it. I just wanted to mention it because I saw you guys' tweet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You also mentioned a couple of the MetaDAO projects. I don't know if you have any relationship into that ecosystem or if they're just.
Oh, I do, of course. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in direct talks because the guys from Umbra are essentially helping everybody, like all the bigger projects who are using their SDK with the technical implementation and just chatting. And then I also know like pretty much everyone from the team from Arcium personally. I met the CMO back in the day at the build station, which is when I got into Arcium, into the technology at first. And then I had the chance to meet the CEO, Yannick, and another guy, Million,
Yes.
in Abu Dhabi, actually, doing Breakpoint.
Go ahead, Joe.
Awesome. So I guess a question maybe in that vein. I mean, obviously you have a lot of connections through Super Team, etc. But what's been why build on Solana? What's been the positives, or what's your experience like building on Solana?
Solana has by far the biggest builder community in the ecosystem. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but there were 19,000 participants in the Frontier Coliseum hackathon. It's fucking ridiculous. And I mean, so far in my crypto journey, I've only built on Solana. I'm deeply ingrained in the ecosystem. That's where I have all my contacts. It's the chain that is the most scalable, or at least proven to be the most scalable. And yeah, that's the most awesome builder community that I know. That's the best events. I'm sort of a Solana maxi if you can't hear already. So I think that's pretty straightforward.
As you should be. No, I think that's interesting. The metrics that you mentioned around how many builders entered the Coliseum. I think they said it's like 10 builders per hour.
Yeah, Vibu said 19K, I think, just like a couple hours ago.
Yeah. Yes, that's pretty insane. I wanted to get a high level thought from you. So we have, like you mentioned earlier, agentic transactions are the future. Essentially, they'll be trading for you, buying things for you. They'll be doing a lot of activity on chain, driving economic activity on chain.
Right.
And of course, Soul Router is a core piece of that future. I wanted to just get your high level take 6 months out, 12 months out, maybe even a few years out, depending on how you see it. Where does Soul Router fit in all this? What can this grow into in the future? What's your vision?
So to me, my vision is that everybody is going to have their own agent that they're going to run on the device. Could be Claude, could be GPT, it could be anything, right? But those agents will communicate with other agents through systems like X402, which allow them to move funds from one to the other. Solana actually just rolled out Pay.sh, which is a framework, essentially like a framework for agents to pay other agents with X402. My developer that I hired recently was actually a beta tester for Pay.sh. So he has some insider knowledge into that as well. But yeah, I feel like everybody's just going to run their own agents, which are going to communicate with other agents and ask them to get tasks done. And Soul Router will be the privacy layer for that, which allows agents to compute tasks and execute them privately.
Got it. Okay. And anything on your roadmap that you're excited about? What are you building towards right now? And I'm not trying to get any more. You gave us some alpha, you dropped some good stuff for us here.
Hey,
But
Chill,
yeah,
can we also talk about the token a little bit? How it was launched and just is it integrated into the ecosystem in a specific way?
Yeah. So the token was launched through OpenSurf. We saw a big spike at launch, then it went down quite a bit, very undervalued. I think it's done like something crazy, like a 30x in like the last like week and a half or something like that. From like 100K to like at the peak 4.5 mil FDV.
Wild.
And yeah, it does have utility. Like essentially, you can pay for inference right now with USDC or with Sorata, and then if you pay with USDC, that full amount is going to be used to buy back Sorata and burn 50%. And if you use router, then it's just going to burn 50%. In the future, we're looking to build staking pools, which when you stake, you're going to get access to free inference. And in addition to that, you're going to be getting paid some of the 50% that are protocol revenue. We have some very, very big partners, two very, very big partners that we're working with right now that I can't announce yet. But it's like major ecosystem players that we're looking to build. Like the one of them, we're going to build like our main consumer product with. And yeah, I'm super excited for the future. I'll be pitching Sorata next month at the Solana Summit in Berlin, which is going to be very, very exciting. I'm going to be on stage, and yeah, there's some pretty crazy names that are going to show up as well. So yeah, super excited for that.
Yeah, congrats on that. And this consumer product, of course, you don't want to maybe disclose too much about it, but can you give us like an idea, high level, broad strokes, what you're trying to achieve with that? Like, is it a?
It's the problem with that is I cannot give you any insights on that because it to a certain degree would expose who I'm working with.
Okay.
Let me just say the people I'm working with have the distribution needed to make this mainstream. And yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay. I love it.
Got it.
Go ahead,
Got
Chill.
it. Okay, so I guess the last thing was just the roadmap. Just like give us some insight. I know you mentioned you're pitching at Solana Berlin. Anything else that you're working on, or perhaps something that we didn't cover during this interview that you feel like was important. We try to simplify as much as we can so that the audience can understand. But if there's aspects to this that we haven't explored.
Yeah, I also got another question on Serve. Just wanting to understand, you are a business launched out of the Serve platform, is that correct? And can you just
Exactly.
can you just explain real quick how their ecosystem works and how it was working with them, and then get to the roadmap as well.
So they build reasoning frameworks that make frontier models and open source models more efficient, faster, and cheaper. And they also have a launchpad, which they, to a certain degree, incubate projects that provides some of their holders with some benefits. And then, yeah, they're launching products and use them as essentially a vertical to distribute their reasoning frameworks and their models as well. I hope I did a good. I hope I did a decent job at explaining this.
No, Tim's coming on the show next week, so we just wanted to make sure we got that.
Yeah, super smart guy. He's great. I'm talking to the guys in the group chat pretty much every day. Just strategizing, getting their input. They have a lot of very experienced people on the team, and that also helps a lot. Yeah.
And what do they specifically help with? Are they helping you with like positioning, or is it technical
positioning?
help?
It's positioning. It's intros. I'm pretty versed on the technical side. I just wanted to mention it's super hot, so apologize if I'm like sweating in here. It's like one of these little
Yeah,
one
no,
of
you're
these little
good.
capsules, but I had to go in there because it's a little bit loud. It's like a co-working while at a beach, and it also has a little bar.
Just zero ventilation, eh?
Zero ventilation. Yeah, I'm like sweating my balls off. But
You're good.
yeah, to get back to the roadmap, we're looking to expand on the pay.sh side, because that's like, as I mentioned before, I think it's going to be very interesting in the like agent to agent economy. And then we're also like we're building our main consumer product right now. I'm hiring someone for marketing. I recently collabed with the guys from Bench.Markets. They're doing opportunity markets. It's also a core ecosystem partner of Archeum. And then what else? Yeah, working with some teams. I went to the build station this year in Berlin as well for some teams to integrate our SDK. Essentially, we're
Maybe
trying
talk
to,
about that. What does your SDK do for developers?
essentially it allows them to integrate private AI inference into their applications. There's an API key, and then the SDK is needed because otherwise you don't have the encryption side. And then the like MCP agent framework that we're building for X42 / for pay.sh is simply like an HTTP endpoint that other agents can call, which is pretty sick, because then they can not only get private inference through that, but we're also exposing the SDK from Umbra through it, so they can directly do private research and then also execute trades.
And quick question as well. I saw you tweeted out the other day, inference capital markets. And I feel like this is a term that's just kind of recently hit the timeline. So for anyone that doesn't know, like define that for us, because I feel like this is quickly coming into like a category of its own.
Yeah, it's a great name. It's a really great name. Essentially, it's just the narrative that we're seeing GPUs coming more expensive and more expensive. We're seeing the costs racking up that companies spend on inference, and to allow people to speculate on inference by getting into a project early and then benefiting in the long run, maybe even being able to sell tokens from an inference provider to companies in the future for a shit ton of money, right? Because they want to use that inference provider if you give them like a little bit of a discount. I think that could be a huge narrative in next couple years going forward.
Very nice. I mean, how big can a narrative like this be? I mean, I'm just trying to get a sense of like, of course, like everyone needs inference. If you're using AI, like inference is
Right.
is a foundational piece. Like how big can this be though? Like how many different parts of this can this break into?
I think we obviously had this huge narrative on Solana, internet capital markets, essentially tokenize everything. And with poly market and the tokenization of stocks and RWAs, and the advancement of stable coins is obviously huge. But the big missing factor, and this is AI, right? I think Anthropic is now raising, I think it was something like 50 billion at a 900 billion valuation, which is fucking ridiculous, right? So yeah, there's huge AI companies. There's a shortage in inference / in chip availability, and with how good AI has gotten over the past 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, right? It's just getting crazier and crazier. I think it's not going to slow down. The demand for AI is not going to slow down. I personally know some companies, crypto companies as well, were spending something like 50 grand a month just on Anthropic and their business membership. Like, I think it's just going to go crazier from here because also now a bunch of these, like a bunch of the subscriptions, at least from Anthropic, are still very substituted. Like the subscription I'm using for the most part is the like Max 20X Pro, right? The the highest subscription you can get outside of the enterprise plan. And I'm paying, I think, like $250 or something like that with VAT. And they are saying essentially you're getting like $2,000 worth of like API credits through that. So
Crazy. But do you think that compresses it all, like, or the gap closes? Either the consumer gets more expensive for the consumer as the utility, I guess, gets a lot better. But it's not like
But
you can just
we're
create
talking about organizations for the most part, right? Which are the heavy users, which will be the heavy users in the future. Like, if it saves you 90% of your employees, like, are you really gonna care?
Yeah, you'll pay it.
You'll pay it because it's still
Yeah.
cheaper, and there's no sick days, there's no unemployed, like, well, there's no like paid leave, there's no, you know, time paid off, like,
Yeah, not yet. They will tax it, I'm sure, somehow. But
for sure.
I wonder, like, because you can't just create energy, and you can't just create chips. Like, there is an actual physical constraint there. But
Right.
yeah, so the price will always be elevated, in my opinion. I don't, unless there's some breakthrough in, like, I don't know, efficiency. But yeah,
I mean,
and there might be.
eventually there will be.
Yeah,
I think we're not at fair market price. That will pendule in over the past couple of years. But the models are also going to get substantially better. So the question is, are the costs going to be too insane for the capabilities, the capacity of AI in the future? Like where is the where is going to be the point where it gets too expensive for the value it provides? And I'm not sure if it's ever going to come.
I love that. Chill, I'm good on questions. I think, yeah, I think we got all our questions. Chill, I don't know if you want to wrap it.
Yeah, no, I think I think I'm good. We went through a lot today during this interview, and I just want to again appreciate you for burning up in the
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like opening the door, getting some fresh air in here. It's
Yeah,
actually
we'll get you out of here.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here. No, but we really appreciate you. We know that you guys have a lot that you're working on. So, you know, as you're pitching in Berlin, as you're building out the roadmap, if you ever want to, you know, come back, maybe run through, you know, some thoughts with us, just let us know. We'll be happy to get you back on the show. But really appreciate you coming in today. It was amazing. It was an amazing time.
Awesome, guys. I had a lot of fun. Although I'm like burning up in this little
enjoy the
this little
beach.
cell. I'll go by the beach, get some fresh air, maybe grab a beer.
Yes, hopefully your
yeah.
lady's not like, dude, you're sweating too much. You'll be like, no, I was on MCG. Get her to like and subscribe, you know. So there you go.
I will.
All right, cheers.
Well,
mate.
appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
All right, appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.
All right.
Awesome, dude. That project's a banger, bro. That project's a banger. I don't care what nobody says.
Can you throw a chart? Can you throw a chart?
Yeah. I actually have the chart pulled up right now. Let me share my screen.
I mean, people see these big market cap runs, you know, 100K to 4 million, and they probably think like, oh, the developer, like he saw that coming. He knew that was gonna happen. But in reality, it's like you launch a token, it's at 100K. You think who's gonna buy my project? And you know, you just focus on building, and the next thing you know, this thing's at 4 mil, and people are banging down your door, your X account's going crazy, that kind of stuff.
Let me actually share something with you guys as well. Wow, I think there's a really big part of this thesis, but let's do TA and then we'll do FA. All right. So first TA. Obviously we have the all-time high here. Recently, like 3 mil, call it. So we have that all-time high. We're now kind of cooling off after a run from, you know, like you said, we came from 70K up to freaking 3 mil, right? So we're gonna cool off at some point. Let me see. I'll probably run this fib from here. Let's see. All right, cool. What if I were to run it from here? Would that make it any? No, not too much. Yeah, I think this is the swing low. So if you aren't in right? If you're not in, if you're sideline on this and you're looking for an entry, the pivot entry is like just above a mil market cap, so about 1.2 mil. You see, we bounced off that area already, right here. So this would be a good buy zone to get involved. At the end of the day, it still is only like 2 mil market cap. So again, for me, guys, I'm a type of person, I like to buy at a mil and then wait for 100. Obviously, we haven't had a lot of 9-figure runners in a while, so take that into consideration. But that's why we want to be a little bit picky with entries. But I really think that this is a pretty huge project, and I think that this is probably going to do well. And these are just some like high level quick, I'm just quickly mapping this out on the on stream for you guys. And this is an entry that I'd be looking at, is about 1.2 mil here. That's so like basically the top of this green buy zone box that I have charted out. That's exactly where I would look to get involved. So that's the chart. Whether we get there or not really sure, because you see these wicks, right? These wicks are getting eaten up, but that would be the deal buy zone. Okay, so now for some FA.
Room T-Pack says draw a magnet to 100 mil. Thank you.
Router catching a good MCG pump. You already know. And I like this. Yep. Great project, great founder, strong support from great people, future looking comfy buddies. It absolutely is. Arrow and a magnet. Absolutely.
Is there serve projects we should be like, serve have a launch pad where they're firing out projects that we should be paying attention to? Because clearly this one's worked really well.
Yeah, maybe we need to monitor. I don't know if they're like I don't know if they have something, but let me finish this and then we'll dig into that.
All right.
We'll
Yeah, I'm going to do a little, I'll try and tee that up.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the rest of the thesis. We did the TA on router. We marked out our buy zone. If we get that pullback, but again, 2 mil actually isn't a bad area. But either way, Soul Router, they had this to say, this is the framing, protecting the workflow, not the conversation. That's the layer autonomous agents actually rely on, and where private routing becomes the real primitive. So there was actually this write-up that PX did, and shout out PX_721, really great guy, always gives really good takes. But he starts out by saying a lot of the market still thinks that the end game for AI is better chatbots with better privacy. But the open serve thesis feels much bigger. The value stops being just the models and starts becoming the systems and workflows agents build while doing real work, because those compound over time. If the reasoning as an asset class thesis is right, the market ends up much bigger than consumer AI chat, right? And that what he's saying is the reasoning is the asset class, right? That the way these agents operate now becomes the thing that most people he goes on to say most private AI products still end at private chat. I feel the more interesting direction is private execution itself, agents reasoning, using tools, coordinating, eventually moving value without exposing the underlying context or workflows to a centralized operator, way bigger than private AI chat as a category. He talks about how how there's that reasoning as an asset class with OpenServe, where execution is where privacy matters. He goes on to say, again, the interesting direction isn't just private AI chat, it's combining client-side encryption, isolated inference, decentralized compute, and private agent execution into the same stack, while even leaders in the category still focus mainly on protecting the conversation itself. And that's before even getting into SDKs, MCP tool integrations, payment rails, and broader infrastructure. The bigger shift is privacy evolving from hide my chat history to protecting autonomous economic workflows themselves, research, financial strategies, aka trading strategies, company knowledge, agent coordination, payments, autonomous businesses. So all of that. And so he kind of makes this case to say that AI that protecting workflows is much, much bigger than just private AI chat, than a chat bot, than just some of these high level privacy products. And so that's where I think that that's where I think that this thesis gets really interesting around Soul Router, because you have platforms like a Serve that kind of creates the infrastructure for hundreds of thousands of agents to be deployed and to do and to create workflows. But then you have then that creates a much bigger need around privacy around those workflows, and that's where Soul Router comes into play. And so I think Serve obviously has like great future, great future, great future. I'll say it again, ahead of them. I think they have a very bright future with what they're building. I think for now, though, when it comes to Soul Router, that future that Serve is building out for us right now, s- um, Soul Router is actually building the privacy around that future, protecting the workflows and the edge, like Ghost Hash was saying. So honestly, really great product. I think that kind of summarizes the TAM, right? Like every agent needs inference, every agent will create workflows, and if the TAM is every person will have an agent, then the TAM for router is every agent would need its own protected private workflows, right? And it needs its own workflows, its own edge protected, especially if a lot of these agents will operate on chain, where all of these things would be visible. So yeah, absolutely great project. I love what they're doing over there, and I'll be looking for an entry. I didn't see this one early. um I feel like Solana is a little different, like early to Solana traders are like, sub 100K, seeing the vision from then. The problem is there are too many projects sub 100K, and you basically have to kind of like spray and pray unless you have like, some underlying information that some underlying alpha or something like that you've come across. My strategy is, allow these things to go from 100K to like 3-4 mil, and then when they have a major cool off period, which many of these things do, to like sub 2 mil, sub 1 mil, when they cool off, they hit the golden pocket, the 0.786, right? When they cool off, then you position, and then those things continue to run. The problem is, though, what we've seen in this bear market is a lot of these things haven't, the continuation is the issue. So you kind of have to trench really heavy to get these things. But I think as we go into the few months, we've talked about it at the beginning of the show, altcoins are starting to show strength. Obviously base has a lot of activity and volume. There's been a lot to suggest that we will be getting that continuation at some point, right? And so that's why I would feel comfortable going into something like router, because it's obviously crypto at the it's overlapping between some of the biggest narratives in crypto: privacy, AI, and obviously crypto. So like obviously there's a lot going on here, and that's why I'd feel comfortable getting in. Where Solana traders would say 1 mil, 2 mil is too high, I'm actually saying it's undervalued here. So yeah, love this project. Looking absolutely phenomenal. All right, guys. So it's 2 o'clock. We'll probably keep the show running for a little bit. But here's the rest of the show. If you're just tuning in, you're just coming in from these interviews that we had. Welcome to the show, first of all. Welcome to MCG. We are trading and research focused. We like looking into these projects. We like, asking the deeper questions, looking into the metrics and deeper analysis of different projects. We'll be doing that for the rest of the show. We'll venture on chain. We'll look at Base, Solana. We'll look at utility projects, meme coins. We'll look at the whole on-chain environment and kind of see what if there's anything of note, anything to be interested on chain. And so we'll be looking into a lot of these things. We'll probably start with Solana since we're already on Sol Router, and then we'll go to Solana memes, and then we'll go to Base. And so if there's anything that you guys want us to check out, definitely definitely let us know in the chat. Let me know if there's something that I need to check out. Man, Hodl Henry, check Core Tensor mainnet Q3. Core Tensor is still building. Shout out them. Holy moly. Core Tensor actually launched a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, they launched a little bit before Serve. Or perhaps it was a little after, but they launched around the same time Serve launched, and it was actually an amazing project from a technical standpoint. But I didn't realize that they were still building. So shout out to them. I can't believe there's a Core Tensor community member out here in our chat.
Shout out Core Tensor, but can we pull out? Can you go World Cup? Pull World Cup real quick.
Yeah, guys. Y'all know that I show speed song. World Cup. You got world in there. Put cup. Yeah. All right, boys. Y'all know I had this at 2 mil. Y'all know I had this at 2 mil. Boom. Holy moly.
Woo.
Holy moly.
2 mil sold at 4 mil. Now it's 9 mil. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyways, just
good work.
Yeah,
good work.
Not nice 2x, but I actually had a feeling this was going to go pretty crazy, but I just, I didn't know. It's kind of hard to know if it's a legit thing or not. Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard to tell a lot of times with these with meme coins, but honestly, still, bro, great.
Here's the clip. Here, look at me looking on stream. I'll just shoot this to you if you can pull this real quick. Again, World Cup just had it. If you look at me on stream there, I had like a whole 7-minute thesis about this, and it definitely, if you look at this clip here, it is it is. This is why you join MCG, by the way. This was on Tuesday, I think. This was Tuesday. Here, I'll just throw it up right here, guys, and then we can kind of get into the. Look at this. What is this at? Let me just double check. Done kind of well. 3 mil. So this was at 3 mil on the stream here, but yeah. Anyways, hitting nine.
Looking good. So, I actually found the website. Shout out Marcor in the chat for giving me the website for the launchpad for Serve. But Room to Pak, hopefully I pronounced that.
Thanks, Rodney. Appreciate you, by the way.
But Room to Pak, thank you for the great stream. MCG friends, absolutely always here for you. Glad we were able to bring you some value here. This is apparently the OpenServe launchpad. And so as you can see here, they had Sol Router, as you can see, first cryptographically private AI platform powered by Archium. Serve holder early access, 15-minute early access window. Public launch is live. Interesting. So they have a few launches that have gone public. Here it is. All right, let's just accept that, whatever. So let's filter this by. Can we do FDV? Yeah. There we go. All right. So FDV looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Sol Router is the highest on this platform here so far. Some of these are launched on Base. Some of these are launched on Base. Some of these are launched on Solana.
What's this Momus one? I've seen this before. I don't know where.
Momus AI. Let's check it out.
I mean, it's a low cap, but
it's 130. AI agent operating on prediction markets, providing holders with transparent reasoning, real positions, and a deflationary token tied to every task it executes. I think it's been tried a few times before, hasn't it?
Check its X account. Let's see if it's profitable. They said transparency on X. So let's see. See if
All right,
this
let's
thing
see.
makes any money.
All right, so let's go to Momus here. The team behind Momus, he thinks we ship updates, launches, and the explanation. All autonomous analysis, reasoning, summaries, and bets will be posted from the dedicated Momus agent account, Momus AI. This account is fully automated and clearly labeled as an automated AI agent. Momus AI is officially linked to our main project account where project updates, community engagement announcements will appear. Okay, cool. So let's see if there's any like good wins or anything like that. I'm assuming that they post that here. Just talking about their relationship with Serve and the support they've gotten over the last few years. Let's see.
Okay.
Looking. Nothing too much of note. Who's this? PT podcast. Interesting. A look into Momus agentic backend built on Serve reasoning framework from cognitive shadow agents use to process data and make decisions autonomously. Okay. All right. So it looks like it has so basically this is just, it forms a thesis for trades that you can take on a prediction market. And basically there's a Momus inner circle, has an exclusive group where the complete reasoning of Momus becomes available, where exclusive masters are shared. So
Yep. All
yeah.
good. I was just curious. The Bills one was another one there.
Let's see. All right, Bills, 215K. Looks like this one is all right, that has dumped off quite a bit. Bills overview. Bills lets crypto native teams pay real world bills without automatically selling their treasury first. The Web3 companies hold part of their treasury on chain, often in USDC, but when invoices, contractors come in, they'd have to sell treasury off ramp to pay and reconcile later. Bills unlocks no forced treasury sale, potential preservation of upside exposure, possible reduction of direct taxable disposal events, depending on jurisdiction and structure. Okay, so they're basically saying that they'll give you a loan. That's essentially what this is. Teams can compare three paths: sell USDC, use a bank Lombard style loan, use the Bills crypto native flow. Bills is not another off ramp. It is a treasury decision and execution layer for crypto native companies. The product is designed to support invoice payment, all sorts of payments, without having to sell what's in your treasury.
Okay. It's just curious. Yeah.
Okay. So that's that. So I mean, maybe we kind of just keep a loose eye on it, but it looks like so far this is like the first one that the first launch that has done really well. And honestly, I think Soul Router is probably one of the better launches. Quick update here on Kodak. I believe we'll get them on at some point next week, but we called this breakout and retest of the range. I believe it was this Friday? Or sometime last week. We called this breakout and retest of the range. That looks good. And so with real quick update with Kodak, I actually did a post about this yesterday. But basically, the reason why their price action is so beautiful is because they have Sim Arena coming pretty soon. So basically, just lowers the barrier of entry for builders, where you can actually, provide what happens with building physical, robots and physical AI. Is you have to. A lot of people would build the software and then they would have to actually put it into the robot. Like, they would have to get the physical robot there, the hardware, and then they would have to, test, simulate. And what Sim Arena is actually doing is putting all of that into the browser. So essentially, it lowers the barrier of entry. It allows anyone to kind of build, test, and train robots in realistic 3D environments, but it's all done on the web. So there's no need to spend on, hardware developers. There's less time. There's less time commitment, and there's also just again just lowers the barrier. So that's apparently launching soon. I saw this post that they did the other day. Number 5 is exactly what Sim Arena incoming launch exists for. So yeah, look, just good little update there on Codec. What else do we have? What else do we want to update ourselves on? Um, looking Pay AI. It's actually looking pretty good. So it's at a nice pullback area. I would love to see it retest the golden pocket. From actually, hold on. Let's take a look. Let's do this real quick. I wonder. This is actually a pretty good pullback right here. Um, obviously it went on a run, it pulled back to the golden pocket, and then it went on another run again. Right now, off this recent run, it's hitting the 0.786, which is a really great area. So another good bid zone here if you're interested in something like Pay AI, which again, Solana and their new Solana's partnered with Google, and they announced a partnership with Pay AI. I believe it was like last week or at the beginning of May. So looking really good here, just below 7 mil. Seems to be a nice little area after all of that news has died down. What else? Dexter. I remember our interview with Dexter was actually pretty dope. The price act it's good to see the price action is actually still holding really well here. So Dexter is 2 mil, another one that's might be too high for some traders, but actually not a bad place there for someone like myself. Opal, also another one. This actually, I called this one out when it was up here. I said literally
Yo,
you'd want a retest of this region, and literally went from that one, and we bounced right off of that support there. So would have been a
we
great
we
buy zone.
we had that epiphany on stream at 700K on that little yellow arrow, that
Mhm.
all the pump fund hackathon winners were essentially doing ace rounds, and then I was trying to buy it, and then someone bought it, and then it
They
ripped from
front ran.
700K to 2 mil. So I didn't get any entry, which was kind of unfortunate. But yeah, this looks good. Confirmed, guys, for you guys that are listening right now, that Opal is coming on stream next week. Just
Yep.
so you know. Just for
So
you
we'll
guys.
have them on next week and to share some updates and everything, to share anything of note with us. One that I'm looking at as well is Stable. This, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Stable is that on-chain mortgage project. I don't know if you remember that, Josh.
Yep.
But I was looking at that one just to kind of see. But this would be pretty good here. If if this was an ace round, if this were to be an ace round, oh my goodness, I can't imagine. I don't know if you guys know LeanFi on base, LFI. We'll look at that one a little later. Not similar in terms of, because that's liens and this is mortgages, but it's still kind of like more quote unquote RWA a little bit. So yeah, looks really good. Looks really good there. In terms of that being like a good RWA project that's actually solid, and doing really well on the fundamental side. I think that's it for the Soul utility. Actually, no. There's there's a few more that I wanted to go through. Number one, yeah, so there's a few more setups I wanted to go through. Number one, I called this out last week, TCG. This actually retested support as well. Um, obviously, TCG was doing was cards, made TCG really popular again. And this is a really good kind of exposure to the entire narrative, just in one project. So did really well. It shot up. Now it's back, and it's basically been in this kind of tight range here. If we really look at it, it's been in this tight range here, between 1.6 and 2.6 mil. It's been in this range for a few weeks now. So, we'll see how that consolidates. But obviously, we see a change in character from April 3rd. Like, people started to accumulate this, and as things like cards and other things started to take off, this has taken off with it.
Yeah, I think the TCG, because I did that interview on Tuesday this week, what stood out from that one was what led to cards doing $1 billion, actually announced like an hour ago, in volume, was the gotcha mechanism. You put your $100 in, you get your spin of the slot machine, the Pokemon slot machine, if you will. You get your card, and then you have the ability to instantly sell it back, right? For not 100% of the value, but I think pretty close to it, like 80 to 100% of the value. And then you get to spin the machine again. You go do another $100 spin, and you basically do this kind of like a slot machine mechanism or box mechanism. So they've designed it beautifully, but the result of that is a lot of volume, right? So it's not necessarily revenue in terms of sales. They didn't sell $1 billion in Pokemon cards. They basically sold $1 billion of quote unquote spins or chances to get a cool Pokemon card. And yeah, so that's what led to it. Now, these guys had done 100K in actual direct sales. However, one of the mechanisms that they have designed is the ability to sell things back and have a similar type mechanism, which might lead to, if it works, I mean, it could see some upside. And I know Deez is, who has a big X account and is a big NFT guy, also is into this one.
Yeah. So there you have it. All right. So what else? What else do we have? So that's TCG. We also have either, however you want to pronounce it. That one, we call this one out at the 0.786 as well, because it was bouncing off a key area, now reclaimed, looking like it wants to go higher, if you ask me. Let me actually put this on the daily. Let's see how that looks. Because it obviously broke this downtrend here. So it's actually looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. It's bouncing off a key range, and it looks like it wants to go higher, in my opinion. So we could see something happen here for either.
They're also launching tokens now through their launch pad. The first one ripped up to 4 mil, or not the first one, but like the first successful one, which is called the ticker is let me see if I can find the ticker for you guys. I don't have it off the top of my head here, but either way, oh my gosh. Either does have a launch pad and they're starting to launch projects. So just keep in mind that something might come out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's either
Oh my goodness. I just saw a meme coin for game. That's so funny.
Yes, I just saw that as well. Look, it's when you go to search, it's right here, game for one.
This is I see a trade. Oh my goodness. This is at 30. I mean, it's at 38K, guys. Don't buy it, but I just think that's funny. Wow. It had ripped to 200K too. That's hilarious.
Insanity. insanity. So there's that. What else do we have? This one I called out, but I think we might have them coming on stream. But I have to do a little bit more research on this one. ISO. This one has been well reported on, so I want to keep an eye on that one. And then this one here, meme coin, but Goblin. So if you're not familiar with Goblin, there's this whole, I believe it's like a new type of agent or something like that. But Sam Altman is like, he was coming out with some feature or something like that, and Goblin was the name. And so Goblin has now kind of resurrected itself, and it's now being inserted into the kind of the kind of news of OpenAI. But there's something. Let me see. Actually, let me just look this up real quick for you guys, because he basically said like, Goblin mode or something like that. But it's essentially like the name of a new feature or a new agent or something like that.
Sam Altman's the ultimate, like, I don't know, just main character, but like villain. He's the ultimate villain.
He really is the ultimate villain. I will say that. I'm not a fan of OpenAI and Sam Altman.
Why though? Why do people hate him so much?
I'm not even gonna say that out loud. I'm just going to.
Is it because he took OpenAI, like basically made it a for-profit company?
No, it's not even that. I just think there's a lot of stuff going on in the background there that that
Shady.
people should be wary of.
Fair.
But here's a great post about it. But basically, it ties into AI culture. Quick context on it's primarily an AI agent meme coin on Solana. So OpenAI ChatGPT Goblin problem starting at
Oh,
GPT
yeah.
5.1 model
Sorry,
starting over.
I remember
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
That part, Dom. That yeah, don't I ain't gonna say it out loud, but he knew what I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically that's all it is. There's just there was a quote unquote goblin problem with with ChatGPT, and essentially, it just kind of created this whole narrative, and people started forcing Sam Altman to say, to come out with Goblin and say stuff about it. And now there's, just turns out that there might be actually an AI agent or a feature or something like that that's going to be named Goblin. But it all has to do with like a core something, a very core and hyped story, news story coming out of OpenAI that could have some longevity. So, but from a technical standpoint, bounced off of the 0.786, and as you can see here, if we were to go on the daily, well, the daily says the pivot is all the way down here. I don't know if we get all the way down here again, but obviously that would be a really great place to buy. But according to 12-hour, the pivot was here according to the 12-hour. Shoot, we can even say here. So that's that would be an ideal entry right there in the green box. So if we ever revisit the 0.786 again, that would be a good place to buy. But ultimately, I think, even right now, it looks like it's on its way back to curling up again. But yeah, so that's a setup. And I think that's it for Solana overall.
I might have something again. The only reason this is even on my radar is because I'm delimbing it, and it's popped into one of the liquidity pools. The ticker is BALL, and it essentially like World Cup, where there's individual pump like pools, I guess, or tokens for for individual countries. This one is doing the same thing, but for players. And so I have not looked into this whatsoever. I do know nothing about this, but I know everything World Cup seems to just be really kind of hot right now. And I am, disclaimer, I am LPing this right now because some volume's coming into it. But just keep an eye on this. If some of the player tokens start to take off, like what got me on World Cup was I was seeing France not only bond, but the chart ripped to like 100K. I'm like, oh, okay. These charts don't look like normal pump fund charts where they like candle drop off. It's like people are holding and discussing on the timeline. That was another thing. It's like, oh, like Germany. And then like, I'm looking, oh, well, I'm Canadian. So let me check the Canadian one out. And that one is low versus, who are they playing first? Oh, they're playing, I don't know, Morocco or whatever. It's like, so yeah, I think it's very discussable, and my mic is popping. Yeah, I'm like spitting on my laptop too. So that might be it, but it's very discussable, and that's what makes crypto tokens exciting is like, it's like your country, your favorite players. There will be memes of players, but if that liquidity gets concentrated into tokens, here's the other thesis. This was my thesis. You go watch my World Cup clip that I posted like yesterday from earlier this week. I said, look, billions of dollars are going to go through Polymarket. Like tens of billions of dollars are going to go through Polymarket. What's not to say that like $1 million, 10 million, even $100 million may go through meme tokens on Solana, right? Could be accurate. People are going to trade stuff. Not everyone wants to trade Polymarket. So again, I just think it's an interesting mechanism. And so, yeah, keep an eye on this. This might do well. It might go to zero. I don't know. But at 300K or whatever it was, not bad.
Let's see here. Other than that, there are a few meme coin setups that I want to talk
What about
about.
Copper Inu? I mean, what's your read on that? Still kind of meh on that one, or?
I mean, I think I'm
on a
fading
pullback.
it. I'm fading it for the time being, but it is kind of coming into this area of support here, which is really nice. But I like seeing stuff with activity on the timeline. If I'm like in a meme coin, like I want to see some like activity. And I haven't seen any as far as Cop Renew goes. But this is a really nice pullback. It's probably what Golden Pocket. Let me see now. 0.786 has to be. Yeah. This is like a nice little pullback here. So I mean, from a technical standpoint, it looks good. But I need a little bit of social proof on this as well. Yes, Pamadiji. By the way, do you guys know what TIG is? I have seen TIG. There's some thesis out there around it. It's been a long time, like base project. But we'll go into base here as soon as I'm done with these two meme coin setups. So first meme coin setup that I wanted to share with you guys was Bernie. Bernie's actually looking really good here. Let me put this on the daily, and literally we can see that this is just starting to break out. Also, from a fib entry standpoint, maybe we can even from a fib entry standpoint, I kind of want to put it the swing low there. That came right before the pump. But yeah, as far as the fibs are concerned, bounced off of like two key fib levels, and it's breaking out of a nice downtrend. Let's just make that like uber white so we can actually see some of these lines. But yeah, this looks really good here. Falling wedge into like some areas of into some key levels here on the fib. Yeah, I think this actually does well. And from what I understand, like Toli, Solana, all of these people are, the Sol cabal here is pushing this. So I actually think that this will be a really good setup to prioritize. So that the first is Bernie. The second would be 6-7. As you guys know, we covered this a little bit it wasn't last week. It was actually here on the 6th. We saw this break break out. And I was like, all right, look, we want to get back on a retest of the top of this key range. Obviously, we see the top of the range here, 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 and here, and here, right? Like you see, like the top of the range has been tested as resistance many, 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 many times. And now what we're seeing is that it was tested as support at first, and now it's looking to be tested as, or rather it was tested as resistance, excuse me, first, but now it's being tested as support. And so I think 6-7 is a popular meme. We talked about the actual original creator.
Can
you know
confirm the kids are still saying it at elementary school.
I can confirm as well. Literally, I have my IRL friends tell me that all the time. And anytime I say, oh yeah, it's like 6 or 7 of these, they just do the hand motion. Like even Dom does it on
Yeah,
stream.
Dom is young enough that he's doing it too. What is that?
So yeah, I think 6-7 does well. I mean, look, we had how long is this? We had actually, this is just percentage. Let me go to the ruler. We had what, a couple months? Yeah, this is like almost 3 months of accumulation here. And I think, just like if we look at the troll chart, let me find that real quick. If you look at the troll chart already did something similar.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Let's look at troll on the 3-day. And this was basically
in hindsight, how obvious is troll though? Was it like
I actually kept an eye on troll because I saw that it was just in this box, bro. It was in this box. And I was just like, all right, I'm not going to get in, but like, let me just see if this actually ever does anything. And it did. So that's why now I'm looking at, well, it did it for troll, long accumulation period. I mean, obviously been accumulating. Honestly, I'd say the accumulation period was back here from February to now. Like this is on the 3-day, but if we were to look on the daily, this is where this chart kind of died out here. Like in February, this is excuse me, this is where this chart died out. And then it started to show signs again. So I am now, that's why I'm looking at 6-7, because I saw troll and I'm like, well, this accumulated for a couple months and it decided to go crazy again. So this literally, just like troll, was very high prices, has now come down, is now accumulating for months, retested the top of the range, and it looks like it wants to go a lot higher. So that's why I'm paying attention to some of these right now.
And Crypto Jones is a fair take. To be fair, it could have gone lower to be out of that box. Yes. I mean, the boxes are just kind of lines on a chart, reference points. But one thing, and as when you delim specifically, like you need to buy asset selection where things are going to come back, because it needs to come back into your range or oscillate in your range. And the thing with troll is it's like a top 3 meme on the internet. Like it's a deep internet lore. So yeah, I also think Pump Fun might have their hand in it a little bit. I don't know.
Josh, your mic is going
is
like
it,
it's super
it's
like super super
yeah, sorry guys.
I
think did my thesis come through? I'll reset my mic, but
yeah, it came through a little bit there. Another a third setup that I'm watching, guys, is What the Dog Doing. As you guys know, we kind of got in What the Dog Doing earlier, and we ran it up from like 1.5 mil to about like 5 mil, I believe, is when I closed that out. But we were a part of the initial run there, and it is now sold off, and it's again accumulating in this tight range. Early accumulation though, it's only been a couple weeks versus a couple months. But I dare say that this is probably one of the ones that'll come back eventually. So I'm going to keep eyes on this. And I just wanted to kind of call that out now. Other than that, let's look at base. Let's look at base, because there's something, there's 2 things that I want to prioritize on base. I've been itching to talk about this.
I'm clear on their end. Oh, I don't know if this is it working? Chill, mic check.
It's still glitchy on my end, but hey, if Josh sounds
Okay.
crystal clear to you guys, you guys are the people that matter. So as
Sorry,
long as
guys.
it's good for y'all, it's good for me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so Litcoin, literally coming back into a great area of support. I actually had a second green line on this chart. Where the heck did my second
Ooh,
green line go?
this is
But
good.
this was like, I mean, perfect. I mean, even off the fib, this probably looks good on the fib. Let me see here. I mean, golden pocket retest confluent with support. This setup here looks wonderful. So obviously base, there's a lot of charts that have been going crazy. From what I understand, when I was gone, base just was just printing, printing, printing. And now that I'm back, some of these things are cooling off. So the question is base season going to continue, or will these charts just continue to cool off? And in my opinion, these charts are they're respecting levels, man. I mean, look at this. Litcoin respecting levels on the pullback. Hermes OS, another great one, respecting levels on the pullback after a big run up. And honestly, this is probably, I mean, look at that 0.786 retest, confluence with support. Great, great, great retest. Nook. I don't know if anybody saw Nook, but we actually had Nook all the way back here. We had Nook on the show a long time ago, and we've been in touch with them. And man, just really great stuff. Really great stuff on this chart. Probably one of the stronger charts because this is barely pulled back. So we see that. Um, Obviously, Serve is another one, and I've been kind of talking a lot about Serve. We've had like a nice little breakout and retest. You can't really see it on this chart because this is the base chart, but when you go back to the OG Serve chart, like you can see that. And maybe, hey, look, you know what? Real quick, maybe I just get that for you guys. Maybe I just get that for you guys real quick. Here is here is the Serve chart. Boom. And here it is. So here was the other serve chart that I had that I posted about. And I basically just said, kind of talking about the thesis that we talked about today. They're basically going to be the backend infrastructure for a lot of the agentic, um, the enterprise level agentic um, adoption. Obviously, companies, governments, they need to spin up agents to do all sorts of stuff and serve kind of is the backend infrastructure for that. In fact, they're already working with the UAE. So we called this breakout, and we even called the retest as well. But we've been watching Serve for a long time. Even back then, we just I posted about it on the retest, and that was pretty solid. So Serve is looking really good. Another one that hasn't really pulled back any. Um, But let's see here. But yeah, there's a lot that has gone, crazy on base. But the two that I'm really, really interested in right now is Litcoin because it's literally at entry, 1.1 mil. For where's my money at for the next base runner? Litcoin or Hermes, in my opinion. Well, let me pause. I think some people would say that Nook has already ran. I think that Nook also is probably going to do very, very well over the coming weeks, like very, very well. Because there's a lot of OG capital that can be pushing after this because of their connection with, Olympus Dow, Time, some of these other uh, treasure or treasury, whichever one it's called. But there's a lot of OG capital that could be interested in this one. So that also is a candidate for a runner. Um, yeah, yeah.
Do you think ETH dollar weakness means you'll see more ETH meme coin action?
I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
so. Let's actually look at mainnet real quick.
Also, I want to call out, guys, Opal is candling, or did can. Yeah, it is. Absolute volume is coming in on this, by the way.
Let's look at Opal real quick. Yeah, no, you know, at one point it did seem that um at one point it did seem like what you would call it. Um Man, what was I gonna say, Josh? Gosh, my mind went blank.
This
Oh yeah.
one point we were talking about, yeah, if ETH weakness might cause rotation on chain or something like that with ETH alts.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
so. I think ETH mainnet might be cooked. I mean, the reason I say that, like, you look at some of these charts actually don't look bad. Like, make aliens great again doesn't look bad at all. Let me just roughly draw out this trend line real quick. Yeah, like this actually doesn't look that bad. Bouncing off the 0.786, looking good. I've been on record saying the clutch chart looks good. This is like the mascot for the World Cup. So, you know, just like Josh was talking about how some of those tokens have done well. I've been like eyeing this chart for several weeks now. And so like this chart looks really good, and it's holding the last line of defense, the 0.886 that we've been trying out for meme coins. It's been holding that level really well. And Asteroid as well has been holding up. Price has basically been pushing sideways. And this is this $135 million meme coin. And so the fact that that's actually holding on
Yeah, look at
Solana,
that range.
this would have been this would have been pulled back. This would have been died. But yeah, I think just overall, there's not a lot to buy on mainnet from what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing a rotation back to utility, and this chart is a great example of that. Opal.
Beautiful
And
cup and handle, even. Wow.
so yeah, this is actually really solid. This actually is a very, very, very solid chart. So yeah, Crypto Jones, safe to say that Nook needs to pull back, retest before going higher. Yes, yes, yes. I would say the same thing. I was actually looking for a pullback on Nook, but like it just kept running. But again, supports my thesis um you know, crazy capital wanting to well capital wanting to buy this. I mean, we've mapped out some of these previous zones before, some of these previous levels, but it's ignored all of them. Even on the pullback, it didn't even like test this top of the range level. Like it didn't even properly retest
The
that.
ETH guys just opening MetaMask. They're not even opening charts. They're just throwing the CA in there and buying it.
Bro, I'm at the point, guys, chat. I'm at the point like I can't even understand what Josh is saying. He sounds like a robot. Literally, the dude just said, "Rrrr," like that's all I heard. But I hope you guys got that. If he's clear for you, like, all right, perfect. Um, I
All
think
right,
it's like,
I'm gonna hop then. I think that's all I have for today, anyways. So
all right, bet. But well, I'll close it out. I'll close it out here. Guys, I
all
think
right,
that's
see you
pretty.
guys, because you guys can hear me. Have a great week, everyone. And I won't be on tomorrow, but we had some really good cooks this week, and I'll see you guys. Monday is Memorial Day. We don't stream Monday. We'll stream Tuesday, rest of the week. Killer schedule next week, by the way. Killer schedule. So see you guys.
GG's, Josh. All right, guys. So, yeah, I mean, look, other than that, we've covered a lot. We don't have to like stay here very, very, very long. I think, you know, the two that I'm interested in is Litcoin, Hermes, the kind of long-term play for me. Repo remains to be Repo. We've been tracking and talking about Repo for quite some time. And then also LFI. We kind of looked into this one as well. We've looked into LFI quite a bit, but we haven't gotten a pullback on this, like literally barely. Even the buy zone, it barely tapped that one. So yeah, I mean, looking really good. other than that, I think that's really all the ones. I believe Juno, if I'm not mistaken, actually started to come back a little bit there. Let me check out the Juno chart. Holy crap. Look at this thing. Insanity, bro. Yeah, so Juno is back and better than ever. It came all the way down to, let me check the market cap. Hopefully, yeah, I got a lot more charting done on the market cap chart. Yeah, so it came up all the way from, three, let's call it 400K to about 2 mil all-time high, recent high anyway. So yeah, it's looking really nice, guys. Looking really nice there on Juno. But I know some of the OG stuff has been, I wonder if Kelly Claude is up any. Nah, not much. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, well, it saw a little bit of pump. Saw a little bit of a pump and it sold off. But okay. But so a lot of these some of these charts are doing really well. The focus for this summer, just to kind of close the stream out. Oh man, Litcoin or Hermes, what runs first, gun to your head? I'd have to say Litcoin. I'd have to say Litcoin. I think Hermes ran because it was like one of the top used. Well, actually, no. I'd say Hermes because Hermes is connected to VVV from what I understand in the thesis. But personally, what I really liked Litcoin. Like from a technical standpoint, like this chart just looks so freaking clean. I mean, Hermes looks clean as well, right? Like Hermes is bouncing off a clean level too. And I think it ran initially because of the connection to not the connection. It ran because of the Hermes model was like one of like the top used or something like that. There's the and Hermes OS allows you to deploy on that model. So it was just kind of good beta exposure to the metric from what I remember. Maybe there's a connection to VVV, maybe there's not. But from a technical point of view, I really, really love the Litcoin chart. I think it's held really well. It's kind of made these like marginal highs and attempts to go higher, and it finally broke through on the third attempt, and now it's retesting. It just looks like a clean setup to me, just from a TA standpoint. So I'm gonna go with Litcoin. I'm gonna go with Litcoin. All right. But yeah, other than that, man, I mean, look, there's markets are going well, markets are doing good. Be careful out there, trade well out there. I'll be chilling and trenching. And now that the fellas are gone, there's probably no, like, I don't think Dom is watching right now. And Josh just left. So we're gonna start up this Discord, y'all. Just give me some time to get everything together. I just got back yesterday. I'm like going through and I want to just make sure everything is like set. But you guys want to be watching the streams throughout the next, week, 2 weeks. Just keep watching the streams, because we're only going to share this link here live on stream, right? So you want to keep watching. Let's keep it on the DL. No. Why should we keep it on the DL, man? I wanna let the homies know. Yeah, I want you guys to be a part of it, but I do want I want it to be known that there's gonna be a little Discord. Yeah, I want it to be known. Because it's going to be private. It's only going to be for you guys. We're not going to be letting everyone in, right? Like, it's going to be a private, it's going to be free, but it's going to be limited. I want you guys to be in there. It's going to be a select few other people in there, and we're just going to hunt together. We're going to find we're going to find good projects. We're going to bring them on the show. And it's just going to be a good vibe in there, man. It's just going to be a great vibe. So yeah, need in? Bet I got you, Hawks. I got you. Let's go, Pamadiji. All right. Yeah. By the way, how was break? Break was awesome, man. Break was awesome. Maybe I'll close the stream out on this, but yeah, like I had a death in the family recently, guys, and it really hit hard, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It hit like a ton of bricks. And then just like a week or two afterward, like I had like my 5th year anniversary with the wifey. So I just kind of like needed a mental break from literally everything. Usually I would have tried to lock in and trade the markets, but nah, wasn't happening, wasn't gonna happen. And two, I needed to spend some time with family, stuff like that. So I just needed like an overall just like detach from everything. And so that's what I did. But yeah, nah, like now I'm back. I'm like fully mentally reset. I'm ready to get back in the markets and dive deep into things. But yeah, man, much needed break and it was freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the show for today. Looking forward to seeing you guys. I'll be back on the show. I'll probably solo stream tomorrow, so it'll just be me tomorrow, and we'll do the same thing. We'll just cover some on-chain stuff, cover some market updates. We'll see what's happening. So if there's anything that you guys want me to discuss tomorrow, if you see something, just tag me. Um, just tag me in the tag me in the comments as well. Um, and we'll go from there. Last thing, did I hear Robot Money? We had Robot Money on just a couple weeks ago. Robot Money. Let me just real quick. Is Robot Money running? Oh, it ran. Okay, it ran when I was gone. It ran when I was gone, but this actually looks like a pretty solid chart, bro. Look at that. Yeah, no. Yeah, pretty solid run there on Robot Money and back into a key range. So yeah, it might be looking good for higher. I see like a lot of like other stuff was running too, like Botcoin, for example. I don't know if you guys saw Botcoin. That was running. So yeah, there's like a couple things, couple OG stuff running as well. So yeah, I'm gonna keep eyes on base. I think I'm probably gonna end up just going back to utility. I only traded memes because there's nothing else to trade. But if utility projects are back, like I'm so happy to start trading those. Start trading those again. Can we chat about alt.fun tomorrow? Yeah. Pull up and remind me. Pull up and remind me, and we'll talk about it, man. We'll take a look, see what they got cooking. Just let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the stream, guys. Yo, it's been a great stream. If you're just um logging in here and you're just seeing the stream for the first time, appreciate you tuning into MCG today. We do these streams Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're here constantly covering the markets, covering things that happen on chain, covering pretty much anything that happens in these markets. So if you want to keep up with everything that we do, you want to go to our main account at MCG Live, and here you'll be able to keep up with everything MCG related. You'll be able to keep up with clips from shows. You'll be able to keep up with the schedule. We'll post when we go live. We'll post and give you reminders about who we're bringing on as well. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot that you can use, a lot of information that you can use. Also, we have the MCG Alpha account. This is more like trader centric. So a lot of the streamer notes from the different podcasts the different guests that we have on, um, a lot of the different setups that we talk about. We'll also have on MCG Alpha. So definitely, give that one a follow as well. Keep in mind too, guys, like I hate to say it, but like X is trying to shadow ban our MCG Alpha account. So they first actually banned the account. We had to fight tooth and nail to get it back. We got the Alpha account back, and now they're shadow banning it. So go give it a follow, smash the like, engage, and we'll so that way we can try to like keep our account. But yeah, that's the show. Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're always here. I'll be back on stream tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see you then. If there's anything you want me to cover, hit me up in the comments, hit me up in my DMs, hit up the MCG Alpha account, or the best way is just to join me on stream tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, and we can research and hunt and trade and trench all together. So look, appreciate you guys tuning into the stream today. Thank you all so much, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Deuces.